Chapter 2461. You really are crazy. The sudden appearance of the insect race startled both Lu Fengyao and Lin Moyu. Even Lin Moyu, who had been using the eye of the undead to scan the area, hadn't detected any other living beings. He hadn't expected the insect race to be able to evade the eye of the undead, proving just how cunning this race was. Within the black cloud were countless, seemingly endless insects, impossible to count. There were 3 insect mothers among them, 1 high-level celestial sovereign and 2 mid-level celestial sovereigns. The high-level celestial sovereign insect mother could produce countless high-level supreme insects, while the mid-level celestial sovereign insect mothers could produce mid-level supreme insects. These insects could combine to form formations, enhancing their realms by 1 or 2 minor levels. Additionally, the insect mothers could create some special insects. When cooperating, the combat power of the insect race was enough to rival the dragon race of the same realm. If humans encountered insect mothers of the same realm, they would generally be no match unless they possessed extremely powerful artifacts. Even Lu Fengyao felt a headache when facing insect mothers of the same realm, as they gave her the feeling of being unkillable. Countless insects swarmed towards them, their numbers overwhelming. In terms of strength, they were only mid-level and high-level supremes, not too threatening. However, their sheer numbers were enough to make one's scalp tingle. Moreover, the insect mothers could produce them endlessly, making them impossible to kill off completely. At this moment, the 3 insect mothers screamed simultaneously, creating some extremely special insects. These insects exploded, transforming into an invisible force that enveloped the swarm. Immediately, all the insects' strength increased by a notch. Mid-level supremes became high-level supremes, and high-level supremes became peak supremes. Lu Fengyao's face changed, gripping her Dao sovereign level sword tightly. She whispered, "I'll take you and break through." Her first thought was to break through rather than kill the insect mothers. She knew very well that killing the insect race was extremely difficult. Even with her Dao sovereign level artifact, it wouldn't be easy to kill them. However, breaking through wasn't difficult. The insect mothers were strong, but the swarm wasn't, and supremes couldn't stop her. Lin Moyu remained calm. "No need, I'll deal with them." With a light touch of his finger, an endless mist rose in the sky. In an instant, the bone hell appeared, enveloping a large area and directly swallowing the insect race. Within the bone hell, hellish spirits pounced on the swarm, biting indiscriminately. Hellfire spewed out, and 10 suns scattered infinite flames. The eye of the undead gazed upon them, carrying a terrifying soul impact. The insects screamed and froze, their auras rapidly weakening. The previous enhancement was wiped out by the eye of the undead. The blooming of the red spider lily further weakened the insects, reducing their speed and strength significantly. Although the number of insects was vast, the hellish spirits in the bone hell were also numerous. With millions of hellish spirits fighting the insects, Lin Moyu wasn't worried about the bone hell losing. The bone hell couldn't handle celestial sovereigns, but it was invincible among supremes, no matter how many insects there were. Lin Moyu was never afraid of being outnumbered. Even without the bone hell, he had plenty of ways to deal with these insects. Lu Fengyao was stunned. "Is this your spell?" Lin Moyu smiled. "It's not very strong, but it's perfect for dealing with these insects." Lu Fengyao was astonished. "Not strong? You're only a peak supreme, and this spell is enough to dominate among supremes." Lin Moyu laughed. "Indeed, but it's a pity it can't handle celestial sovereigns." Lu Fengyao said, "Be content, it's already impressive. Let's take this chance to leave." Lin Moyu asked curiously, "Why leave? Why not kill the 3 insect mothers?" Lu Fengyao couldn't believe it. "Are you crazy? You want to kill the insect mothers? Why not? If they can come to kill me, why can't I kill them?" Lin Moyu's words puzzled Lu Fengyao. It seemed she had never considered killing the insect mothers from the start. Was there a special reason? Lu Fengyao explained, "It's not that we can't kill them, it's just too difficult. What you're seeing is only the first form of the insect mothers. They have a second form and an ultimate form. In their first form, they only produce insects and aren't very powerful themselves. In their second form, also known as the combat form, they have the strength to rival dragons of the same realm. As for their ultimate form, their combat power reaches its peak. It's said that a peak celestial sovereign insect mother in its ultimate form once severely injured a Dao sovereign of the demon race." Lin Moyu finally understood why Lu Fengyao hadn't thought of killing the insect mothers. It indeed seemed challenging. However, he was very interested in the insect mothers. If he could turn them into resurrected beings and transform them into their ultimate form, they might not just severely injure a Tao sovereign but could even kill one. Moreover, resurrected beings would self-destruct before death. If the insects produced by the insect mothers could also self-destruct, the scene would be thrilling. Seeing that Lin Moyu had no intention of leaving, Lu Fengyao asked, "What do you want to do?" Lin Moyu replied, "I want to try killing them." Lu Fengyao shivered, "Don't even think about it. If that high-level celestial sovereign insect mother enters its ultimate form, even I can only protect myself." Lin Moyu said, "Then don't let it enter its ultimate form. Can you handle the two mid-level celestial sovereign insect mothers?" Lu Fengyao looked at Lin Moyu as if he were crazy. But seeing his determined gaze, she said, "Killing them won't be easy, but holding them off isn't hard." Lin Moyu said, "Good, leave those two to you. I'll handle the high-level celestial sovereign." With that, Lin Moyu flew straight towards the insect mothers. Lu Fengyao called out to him, but he didn't listen. Helpless, she stomped her foot and followed. She thought to herself, "Fine, I'll go crazy with him. Let him see reality. If things go south, I'll take him and break through. It should be fine." Lu Fengyao was confident in her strength. Even if she couldn't defeat the ultimate form of the insect mother, she could protect herself and break through with Lin Moyu. Seeing the two of them charging, the three insect mothers screamed and produced more insects. The total number of insects had an upper limit. After a batch was killed by the bone hell, they produced a new batch. Lin Moyu's heart stirred, and the bone hell instantly expanded, covering all the insects and the insect mothers. Hellish spirits pounced on the insect mothers, who screamed and produced more insects. But against the bone hell, the insects were clearly outmatched. The insect mothers' screams suddenly changed, becoming more intense, and their bodies began to transform. Their previously nest-like bodies grew dense scales, sprouted 4 pairs of sharp legs, each emitting a sharp aura that cut countless cracks in the air. The insect mothers now had a metallic sheen, their bodies transformed from bloated to sharp, resembling mantises. As the insect mothers transformed, the insects they produced returned and merged with their respective mothers. Lu Fengyao whispered, "This is their second form, also known as the combat form. Be careful." Lin Moyu nodded, "Proceed as planned." Lu Fengyao snorted, "You really are crazy." Chapter 2462, 2462. Chapter 2462. You too, I take one. Lu Fengyao's words made Lin Moyu slightly stunned. He thought of Antares, who had once said the same thing about him. A bright smile appeared on his face. "It's been a long time since someone said that to me. It's nice. Then I'll trouble Sister Fengyao to go crazy with me this time," Lin Moyu said. Lu Fengyao snorted and said no more. Her battle intent surged as she locked onto the two mid-level celestial sovereign insect mothers. The 3 insect mothers entered their second form simultaneously, unleashing terrifying power that instantly tore apart the bone hell. Sharp auras rampaged through the air, cutting countless cracks. The insect race's cultivation path was different from others. They had no rule world but possessed extremely strong combat power. Their path of enhancement was contrary to the other races of the origin continent. Some had studied the insect race but never reached a definitive conclusion. The bone hell was torn apart, having completed its mission by marking the 3 insect mothers. "Attack!" Lin Moyu shouted softly. Without hesitation, Lu Fengyao charged at the 2 insect mothers she had locked onto. Her sword unleashed a torrent of sword energy, sweeping through the air. The insect mothers screamed, swinging their sharp legs like blades to clash with Lu Fengyao's sword energy. Lu Fengyao's sword was a Tao sovereign level artifact, incredibly powerful. However, her own cultivation wasn't enough to fully wield the power of a Tao sovereign level artifact, making her only slightly stronger than a high-level celestial sovereign. Fighting 2 mid-level celestial sovereign insect mothers was still manageable. After a frontal collision, the 2 insect mothers were slashed away, their hard bodies covered in countless wounds. Boom! An explosion suddenly rang out as the high-level celestial sovereign insect mother screamed, its body suddenly exploding. The explosions continued, with 4 consecutive blasts following. The high-level celestial sovereign insect mother was blown to pieces, dying on the spot. Lu Fengyao looked at Lin Moyu in shock. What happened? A high-level celestial sovereign insect mother had been instantly killed. She had no idea what spell Lin Moyu had used to cause such terrifying damage. Lin Moyu beckoned, and the corpse of the high-level celestial sovereign insect mother flew into his hand, which he immediately stored away. Lin Moyu smiled, just as I expected, no matter how strong the insect mother is, it's still a high-level celestial sovereign. Using the corpses of the fish eagle and the giant python, both high-level celestial sovereigns, to perform corpse explosion, the insect mother couldn't withstand it. No matter how strong its vitality, being blown up 4 times in a row means certain death. If it were Cheng Hongguang, one explosion would suffice to kill him. The insect mother's vitality is already strong enough. I actually think 3 explosions would have been enough, the 4th was just for insurance. Lu Fengyao looked at Lin Moyu. How did you do it? Lin Moyu smiled, it's just one of my spells. Let's continue fighting, we're not done yet. Only then did Lu Fengyao realize she was still in battle, having been distracted by Lin Moyu's actions. Lin Moyu's strength was beyond her comprehension. She couldn't understand how a peak supreme could kill a high-level celestial sovereign, crossing a major realm and 3 minor realms. Moreover, the target was an insect mother, known for being extremely difficult to kill. Lu Fengyao attacked the 2 insect mothers again. They screamed, causing space to tremble, and their powerful force sent Lu Fengyao flying back. They transformed again, entering their ultimate form. Lin Moyu watched with curiosity, wanting to see how strong the ultimate form of the insect mothers was, as Lu Fengyao had described. The 2 insect mothers began to grow, expanding from over 10 meters to 1,000 meters. They grew pairs of sharp legs, from 6 pairs to 10 pairs, then 20 pairs. They eventually had 50 pairs of sharp legs, dancing in the air. This looks like a centipede, Lin Moyu thought. The ultimate form of the insect mothers resembled a centipede. With 50 sharp legs flying in the air, their aura reached the peak of mid-level celestial sovereign, just a step away from high-level celestial sovereign. Their sharp legs were comparable to celestial sovereign-level artifacts, making them capable of injuring high-level celestial sovereigns. Lu Fengyao shouted and attacked again, her Dao sovereign-level sword slashing out countless sword energies. The insect mothers fought back with their sharp legs. Despite the size difference, Lu Fengyao had the upper hand in strength. The battle was intense, with countless cracks appearing in the air, making it hard to determine the winner. Lin Moyu saw clearly that Lu Fengyao, with her artifact and protective jade bead, was aggressively suppressing the insect mothers. However, winning wouldn't be easy. Without her Dao sovereign-level sword and jade bead, she could handle 1 insect mother but would likely lose against 2. The insect race's combat power is indeed strong, no wonder they can contend with the dragon race. It seems I need to help her to end this quickly. Should I use corpse explosion or let Cheng Hongguang handle it? Lin Moyu had 2 options, both viable. He wasn't in a hurry, letting Lu Fengyao enjoy the fight first. Sea and land, Lu Fengyao shouted, casting a spell. Her rule world appeared behind her, a bustling world filled with countless merchant ships and tall buildings. Swords flew out from her rule world, filling the sky. Thousands of swords flew through the air, unstoppable. Whether in the realm sea or the origin continent, they could traverse freely. The 2 insect mothers were engulfed by the sea of swords, screaming as their massive bodies were pierced, their sharp legs breaking under the sword energy, nearly tearing them apart. This powerful strike severely injured the insect mothers. However, countless insects flew out from the insect mothers, quickly healing their wounds and restoring their sharp legs. In the blink of an eye, the insect mothers were back to normal, their aura unchanged. They charged at Lu Fengyao, fearless of injury and death. They swung their sharp legs and spewed countless dark green liquid. The liquid exploded in the air, forming dense fog. The fog was highly corrosive, weakening Lu Fengyao's protective jade bead. She had to avoid the fog, feeling constrained. Lin Moyu nodded slightly, their regenerative ability is strong, and the fog's corrosiveness is powerful. Lu Fengyao grew increasingly frustrated, gritting her teeth, they're so troublesome. She had always known the insect mothers were difficult to deal with, but fighting them firsthand was even harder than she had heard. Thinking of how easily Lin Moyu had dealt with his opponent, while she struggled with weaker ones, made her even more annoyed. Amidst her frustration, Lin Moyu's voice came from afar, need help. Lu Fengyao snorted, no need. She took out a pair of scissors, throwing them into the air, and pointed her sword at one of the insect mothers, shouting, bind. The scissors shot out a beam of light, wrapping around the insect mother like a rope, immobilizing it. Lu Fengyao shouted again, cut. The scissors enlarged, appearing on the insect mother, and cut down. Snap. With a crisp sound, the insect mother was cut in half, its body and soul severed together. Lin Moyu's eyes gleamed, this artifact is powerful. The artifact was indeed strong, a Dao sovereign level artifact, but using it consumed a lot of energy. After one use, Lu Fengyao's energy plummeted. She took a pill to restore some energy and pointed her sword at the last insect mother. It screamed, spewing countless green liquid, forming a toxic fog that forced Lu Fengyao to retreat. The insect mother suddenly screamed and fled with the toxic fog. Chapter 2463, 2463. Chapter 2463, Are we being used as sacrifices? The insect race isn't foolish. Seeing that they can't win, why wouldn't they flee? They are fearless, but that doesn't mean they are suicidal. Trying to escape, Lu Fengyao saw this and immediately wanted to pursue. At this moment, Lin Moyu's voice rang out, "No need to chase, it can't escape." Lin Moyu collected the corpse of the insect mother that Lu Fengyao had killed and calmly walked to her side. Lu Fengyao raised an eyebrow, "Why not chase?" Lin Moyu replied, "The dragon race has arrived and has already targeted it." As soon as he finished speaking, lightning flashed and thunder roared in the distance, turning the sky into a sea of lightning. Lu Fengyao recognized the dragon race's artifact. The dragon race and the insect race are mortal enemies. There's no way they would let the insect mother escape. Seeing this, she stopped pursuing. Without high-level celestial sovereigns, the insect race couldn't escape the dragon race's hunt. With the help of the pill, Lu Fengyao's breath gradually stabilized. "Now you can tell me why you wanted to kill the insect race." Lin Moyu smiled slightly, "Sister Fengyao, please allow me to keep a little secret. Perhaps you will know in the future, but not now." As he spoke, he flicked a law of immortality onto Lu Fengyao. The power of life swept over her like a gentle breeze, quickly restoring her previous consumption, almost as effective as the pill. Lu Fengyao was slightly shocked. The law of life? Lin Moyu neither confirmed nor denied, something like that. Lu Fengyao said, "Impossible, your previous spells didn't use the law of life." Lin Moyu replied, "Can't I comprehend multiple laws at the same time?" Lu Fengyao's eyes widened. "Of course, you can comprehend multiple laws, but how long have you been cultivating? Comprehending so many laws and reaching such a high level, how did you do it?" Lin Moyu spread his hands. "I just did it, it's not that hard." Lu Fengyao was speechless. "Not that hard? Are you kidding? It's extremely difficult. Maybe this is what a genius is." Lu Fengyao didn't want to say anything more. She considered herself a genius, outstanding in the Chamber of Commerce, but compared to Lin Moyu, she felt like an idiot. Comparing oneself to others can be infuriating. Lu Fengyao didn't want to ask any more questions. Asking more would shatter her Dao heart. In the distance, amidst the lightning and thunder, the insect mother was finally killed. The divine dragon collected the artifact and flew over. One of the high-level divine dragons searched the surroundings, noticing the green toxic fog left by the insect race, indicating a battle had taken place here. Because Lin Moyu possessed the dragon soul crystal, the divine dragons were polite to him. "Human friend, have you seen the other two insect mothers?" Lin Moyu replied, "They've been killed." The divine dragons were slightly stunned. "Killed? Those were high-level celestial sovereign insect mothers." Lin Moyu took out the two insect mother corpses. "It's them, right?" The divine dragons were visibly shocked. They knew very well how difficult it was to kill high-level celestial sovereign insect mothers. The high-level divine dragon still found it hard to believe, but the corpses were right in front of him, so he had to believe it. As a divine dragon, he was proud and shouldn't have asked, but curiosity got the better of him. "May I ask, how did you kill them?" Lin Moyu glanced at Lu Fengyao, indicating that she did it. After all, he was only a peak supreme. Claiming he did it would be unbelievable. Even if they believed him, how could he explain it? So, Lin Moyu straightforwardly attributed it to Lu Fengyao. While looking at her, Lin Moyu didn't forget to wink. Lu Fengyao was both amused and annoyed, thinking, "Now you know to hide your strength, but you were so crazy just now." "Fine, for the sake of the fish bone, I'll help you this time." Lu Fengyao said, "I used this to kill them." She took out the scissor artifact. The divine dragon's eyes widened. "The soul-cutting scissors, you're from the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce." Lu Fengyao put away the scissors. "It's just a replica, but I am indeed from the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce." Seeing the soul-cutting scissors, the divine dragons believed her. Lin Moyu observed their shocked expressions, realizing that the soul-cutting scissors artifact was very famous. The artifact dispelled the divine dragon's doubts. Lin Moyu asked, "Senior, have you discovered anything?" The leading high-level divine dragon said, "I am Aolei." You have the dragon soul crystal, no need to call me senior. The dragon race doesn't easily reveal their names. Aulay was willing to tell Lin Moyu his name because Lin Moyu had the dragon soul crystal, and Lu Fengyao's status and strength qualified her to know his name. Aulay said, "We haven't discovered much. When the space collapsed, we fell into a brief coma. After waking up, we came here." Lu Fengyao explained, "The dragon race has a secret method to locate the center of a world or space. Such a secret method indeed exists. No wonder they found the altar so quickly. The insect race probably has a similar method to find it quickly." Aulay asked, "Lin Xiaoyu, have you discovered anything?" Lin Moyu didn't hide anything and recounted the whale swallowing the sea and his speculations. Now, Lin Moyu was thinking about how to leave this place. If he couldn't figure it out alone, he might as well borrow others' brains. Maybe with more people, they could find some clues. Aulay looked serious. "You mean someone wants to revive this Dao sovereign level whale?" Lin Moyu nodded slightly. "It's just my speculation, not confirmed." The divine dragons pondered, observing the whale and considering the possibility in Lin Moyu's words. Lu Fengyao said, "The dragon race has a long heritage and knows many things we don't. Their understanding of the realm sea far surpasses other races." Lin Moyu understood Lu Fengyao's meaning. "I hope they have an answer." The divine dragons whispered among themselves, seemingly discussing something. After a moment, Aulay spoke. "We thought of a legend. It is said that a very powerful Dao sovereign once appeared in the realm sea. At that time, the sea tribe in the realm sea had a conflict with a mysterious force. The battle was intense, and the Dao sovereigns of the sea tribe also participated. After the war, the sea tribe suffered great losses, and a Dao sovereign might have fallen." Lu Fengyao looked puzzled, indicating she hadn't heard of such a conflict. Aulay noticed her expression and explained, "This conflict occurred in the deepest part of the realm sea. We only know a little about it." Lin Moyu asked, "Do you mean the king of the realm sea wants to revive it?" Aulay said, "It's possible. Using the Dao pattern fish bone to enhance the strength of the creatures in this space, then using the altar to harvest their life force and origin as sacrifices, combined with the power of the realm sea water, it's not impossible." Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat. "Is it possible that we are also sacrifices?" Aulay's expression turned serious. He hadn't considered this, but Lin Moyu's words made sense. Lin Moyu continued to ponder, "Your analysis is somewhat reasonable, but there are also inconsistencies. Compared to the numerous creatures in this space, we are just a drop in the bucket. Using us as sacrifices doesn't make much sense." He suddenly stopped, thinking of a possibility. To revive a dead being, besides using a large number of creatures as sacrifices, wouldn't it also require souls, intelligent souls? Chapter 2464, 2464. Chapter 2464, The Origin Shuttle, the Heavenly God Sect. The previously confusing parts suddenly became clear. Lin Moyu realized that their existence was to provide intelligence for the revival of the whale. Due to the Dao pattern fish bones, the creatures in this space were all quite powerful, with high-level celestial sovereigns being common. However, these high-level celestial sovereigns lacked wisdom. Using them as sacrifices could provide immense life force for the whale but couldn't provide intelligence. Revival involves not just the physical body but also the soul. Soul revival might require intelligence. Lin Moyu didn't understand the specific process, as it was too advanced for a small supreme like him. However, he could infer some clues. Previously, the fish bones knocking forcibly elevated his soul realm while erasing his intelligence. These intelligences might not have been erased but could have been transformed into sacrifices through some method. Who could understand the methods of a Dao sovereign? Lin Moyu couldn't comprehend Dao patterns and didn't know what abilities they contained. Looking at the fish bone in his hand and the enormous whale, Lin Moyu suddenly thought of a possibility. Could there be more than one altar? If we were divided into different spaces, and these spaces corresponded to different altars, there might be more than one sword-shaped fish bone. Those mid-level and low-level celestial sovereigns might not withstand the fish bones knocking, losing their intelligence and ultimately becoming the sacrifices needed for the whale's revival. More than 10,000 people entered, but only a few dozen reached the altar. Some of the dragon and insect races didn't make it, and none from the 100 Herbs Alliance arrived. Previously, he thought the 100 Herbs Alliance members were unsuited for this environment. Now, it seemed there might be more than one altar. His words led the divine dragons into another discussion, and they found Lin Moyu's words reasonable. Lu Fengyao looked at Lin Moyu with a strange expression. How did you analyze all this? Lin Moyu smiled. Maybe my thoughts are more complex, so I naturally analyzed it. Lu Fengyao didn't believe Lin Moyu's explanation. What should we do next? Lin Moyu replied without hesitation. Wait. If there are other altars, let's see their situation and whether they collapse like ours. Also, the people who came here with us should be waking up soon. Lu Fengyao acknowledged with an, oh, realizing that with Lin Moyu around, she didn't need to think. This guy seemed like a freak, thinking much more thoroughly than she did. After some discussion, the dragon race seemed to reach the same conclusion as Lin Moyu. Wait. For now, waiting was the only option. The surroundings fell silent, with only the sound of waves crashing in their ears. Lin Moyu suddenly asked softly, Sister Fengyao, I have something, can you help me take a look? Lu Fengyao curiously asked, what is it? Lin Moyu took out an object resembling a cone, about the size of a palm, with a sharp front and an oval back. He had obtained this from Bai Choxia, who had found it in an ancient box during an adventure. Along with it was a pearl containing the method to use the power of faith. Lin Moyu had judged that this object was either from the ancient human era or from the realm sea. He had asked the human emperor and the sky dragon, but neither knew what it was. Later, he asked Water's top celestial sovereign, who also didn't know. Thinking that Lu Fengyao was from the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce, the largest trading force on the origin continent, she might recognize it. Lu Fengyao took the cone, her eyes narrowing slightly. Where did you get this? Lin Moyu knew she had recognized it. I got it by chance during an adventure. By chance? Lu Fengyao's tone was slightly strange. You should have also gotten a pearl with it, right? Lin Moyu was slightly startled. How did you know? Lu Fengyao suddenly laughed. Just kidding. This is called an origin shuttle, driven by origin crystals, capable of traversing worlds at high speed. Some people use it as a means of transportation. Your origin shuttle should be at the celestial sovereign level, driven by first to third level origin crystals, corresponding to low, mid, and high level celestial sovereign speeds. However, your origin shuttle is broken and needs repair. When you reach the origin continent, find a large city and a master refiner of the 5th level or above to repair it. It turned out to be a means of transportation, which was quite unexpected. This also meant that the origin shuttle and the pearl containing the power of faith came from the origin continent. Lu Fengyao continued, many years ago, a sect called the Heavenly God sect appeared on the origin continent. They had a unique cultivation method that could gather a peculiar power called the power of faith. This power is magical and strong, enhancing spells and cultivation. The Heavenly God sect quickly produced many celestial sovereigns and later Dao sovereigns. But as the Heavenly God sect grew, they needed more followers and occupied more territory, eventually provoking a major force. You can guess the outcome. Lin Moyu naturally guessed, the Heavenly God sect was destroyed. Lu Fengyao smiled, correct, they were destroyed. Lin Moyu continued, I guess that major force not only destroyed the Heavenly God sect but also wanted their method of cultivating the power of faith. Smart, that's exactly what happened, Lu Fengyao praised. Lin Moyu thought for a moment and continued, I guess that major force didn't fully obtain the Heavenly God sect's cultivation method. Even if they did, it wasn't complete. The Heavenly God sect must have made preparations to prevent their legacy from being cut off. Lu Fengyao's eyes brightened, you guessed right again. The Heavenly God sect created many pearls, embedding the power of faith's method within them, and scattered them along with many origin shuttles. Among thousands of pearls, only one fully records the method of using the power of faith, while the others only contain basic methods, of little value. Lin Moyu asked, I guess the Heavenly God sect announced this to the world, attracting more forces to compete. That major force probably didn't get the true legacy either. Lu Fengyao stared at Lin Moyu, how did you figure all this out? Lin Moyu said, it's simple. Although the Heavenly God sect wasn't a match for the major force, they had Dao sovereigns and wouldn't be easily destroyed. They must have had backup plans. By attracting more competitors, they created chaos, hiding their true legacy. I suspect that none of the pearls they released are genuine, their true legacy must be hidden somewhere. Lu Fengyao was speechless because Lin Moyu's guesses were almost entirely correct. His analysis matched what her family's elders had deduced, but they had vast intelligence support, while Lin Moyu had nothing. She found Lin Moyu's analytical ability truly frightening. As they chatted, the sea suddenly trembled, and the world roared. In the distance, the sky collapsed. Chapter 2465, 2465. Chapter 2465. So we are all just tools. The sky collapsed, and huge holes appeared in the high altitude. The waters of the realm sea, mixed with countless rocks, fell from the sky. Not only rocks but even entire islands fell down as well. They plunged into the vast ocean, creating huge splashes before quickly sinking and disappearing. Lin Moyu keenly observed that, besides the rocks, some cultivators were also being swept down with the waters of the realm sea. They were carried away by the splashes and quickly disappeared. These cultivators were either humans or demons, and every one of them was unconscious. He also noticed that there were origin crystals mixed in with the rocks, falling into the ocean. The collapses were not limited to one place. The skeleton generals exploring the space transmitted information that many places were collapsing. The sky looked like a torn sack, full of holes. Lin Moyu originally wanted to save some of the humans, but he found that the skeleton generals couldn't get close. The waters of the realm sea formed a peculiar force field, blocking all the skeleton generals outside. This situation was different from what he had encountered with the altar before. In the distance, a divine dragon fell with the waters of the realm sea. Aulay let out a dragon roar and flew over. However, he was heavily repelled before he could get close, unable to approach. Aulay was visibly anxious, trying repeatedly but to no avail. He watched helplessly as his companions fell into the ocean and disappeared. He also tried diving into the ocean but found nothing after a search. Lu Fengyao asked cautiously, "Why is this happening?" This situation seemed different from their previous experience. When they fell from the collapsing altar, they were all fine. 7 divine dragons and 3 insect mothers, none were missing. But this time, those who fell were unconscious and then disappeared into the ocean. This strange situation made Lu Fengyao wary. Lin Moyu looked at the holes in the sky and then at the sword-shaped fishbone in his hand. "This time is different from ours." Lu Fengyao asked, "What's different?" Lin Moyu explained, "I triggered the Dao patterns in the altar, which can be considered as prematurely activating the altar or even destroying its original function. They should have waited until the altar was fully activated, allowing its power to reach its peak, which is why they are more affected." As he spoke, Lin Moyu stared unblinkingly at a nearby hole, vaguely seeing a sword-shaped fishbone above it. In the distance, he saw members of the 100 Herbs Alliance also falling from the sky. They were all large and varied in shape, but without exception, they were all unconscious. Finally, the skeleton generals made a new discovery. The people who had fallen with them finally appeared. This space was so vast that Lin Moyu had the skeleton generals explore for a long time without finding the boundary. Besides Lu Fengyao, the insect race, and the dragon race, he hadn't seen anyone else. Finding Lu Fengyao was already extremely lucky. Now, seeing people from the same altar confirmed that the outcome of their altar was different due to his actions. At this moment, Lu Fengyao exclaimed, pointing at the whale, "It's moving again." The Dao patterns on the whale were rapidly lighting up. Lin Moyu felt uneasy and shouted, "Let's retreat." Without hesitation, they moved far away, putting over 1,000 kilometers between them and the whale. The Dao patterns on the whale fully lit up, and its massive mouth opened, emitting a deep sound. Instantly, a terrifying suction appeared, drawing a large amount of seawater into the whale's mouth. The waterfalls falling from the sky also rushed into the whale's mouth. However, this time was different from before. The waterfalls turned into water dragons, carrying immense power, entering the whale's mouth. The suction swept through the entire space, pulling everything towards it, no matter the distance. Lin Moyu saw many cultivators falling with the waterfalls, being sucked into the whale's mouth and dying instantly. If he hadn't accidentally activated the altar early, he might have ended up like them. Lin Moyu's expression grew serious. "The king of the realm sea's intention with the realm sea token this time is to take our lives." "Fengyao, were the previous realm sea tokens safe?" Lu Fengyao rolled her eyes. "Do you think I know everything?" Information about the realm sea token is rarely shared. But it's said that the casualties from the realm sea token were not heavy. "I don't know what's different this time." Lin Moyu murmured, "It's indeed strange. If we all die here, offending so many people at once, the king of the realm sea would have to consider the consequences. What's really going on? Did I misjudge?" The soul fires had indeed disappeared, leading Lin Moyu to instinctively think they were dead. But were they really dead? Lu Fengyao's words made Lin Moyu uncertain. After all, those who came to participate in the Realm Sea Token event were all powerful and influential. Even if the king of the realm sea was powerful, offending so many at once would have consequences. The waters of the realm sea were rapidly refined inside the whale, turning into ordinary water and flowing out from its back. The people it swallowed never reappeared. Moments later, the waterfalls were finally swallowed clean, and more than half of the realm sea water in the ocean was refined, greatly weakening its aura. The whale's body emitted an indescribable, immensely powerful aura. At this moment, the whale's devouring continued, and the suction grew even stronger. From the holes in the sky, sword-shaped fish bones flew out, heading towards the whale. The sword-shaped fish bone in Lin Moyu's hand also buzzed, breaking free and flying towards the whale. The fish bones grew larger as they approached the whale, becoming incredibly massive. Lin Moyu suddenly realized, I understand now. These fish bones are the whale's spine. For many creatures, the spine is the core of the body. While the physical body may not be crucial, it is not entirely unimportant. Especially for Tao sovereigns, the physical body is a vital component. Tao patterns appear on the bones, significantly enhancing a Tao sovereign's combat power. After the physical body is destroyed and the flesh is reshaped, it takes a long time for the Tao patterns to recover. For this whale to revive, the spine containing Tao patterns is essential. Compared to the spine, other bones are less important. There were 18 sword-shaped fish bones in total, connecting end to end, becoming incredibly large, matching the whale's size. The fish bones combined, emitting a terrifying aura, and an invisible force swept through the space. The fish bones slowly sank and merged with the whale. Lin Moyu fully understood the situation. Lu Fengyao noticed his expression and asked, "Did you figure something out?" Lin Moyu didn't hide anything. After the whale died, its bones scattered across different spaces. Our task was to collect these bones and gather them in various altars. When the altars collapsed, we fell here with the fish bones. The sword-shaped fish bones in the altars are the whale's spine, and the other fish bones we collected are from other parts of its body. During the whale's revival, it will devour the people who fall in, along with the fish bones they collected. Lu Fengyao's expression changed, so the king of the realm sea used us as tools. Lin Moyu said, pretty much. But now I doubt those people are really dead. Killing us all wouldn't benefit the king of the realm sea. Suddenly, Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed as he saw a soul fire forming inside the whale. Roar! A deafening roar echoed through the heavens, and the entire space completely collapsed. Chapter 2466, 2466. Chapter 2466. Auntie feels like she's going to die. The enormous spine fused into the whale's body, and the whale immediately emitted a powerful aura. This aura far surpassed that of an ordinary Tao sovereign, much stronger than the whale general Lin Moyu had encountered before. Although both were Tao sovereign whales, their auras were incomparable. The whale let out a howl, causing the entire space to tremble continuously. Thunderous sounds echoed in their ears, and the entire space quaked. An even more massive suction force appeared, but it did not affect Lin Moyu and the others. The skeleton generals scattered in the distance were suddenly squeezed by a tremendous force, forcing them to retreat. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed. This space is shrinking. Lu Fengyao's face changed. How can this be? Is it planning to swallow the entire space? Lin Moyu replied, it's not impossible. I even suspect that this space originally belonged to it. Lu Fengyao was incredulous. That can't be. Lin Moyu said, although I've never seen a Tao sovereign's rule world, I feel that nothing is impossible. Lu Fengyao asked, if it swallows the entire space, does that mean it will kill us too? Lin Moyu shook his head, it doesn't necessarily have to kill us. As I said before, the king of the realm sea has no reason to kill us. Lu Fengyao was completely confused by Lin Moyu. Not killing them but swallowing them seemed contradictory to her. However, Lin Moyu didn't find it contradictory. He trusted his judgment. Lu Fengyao asked, what should we do now? Lin Moyu shook his head. Facing a Tao sovereign, do you have any countermeasures? For example, using the soul-cutting scissors to kill it again. Lu Fengyao rolled her eyes. If it were the genuine soul-cutting scissors wielded by a Tao sovereign, there might be a chance. The implication was clear. She couldn't do it. Lin Moyu shrugged, then there's nothing we can do. All we can do now is wait. Lu Fengyao glared at Lin Moyu, wait again. Is there no other way? Lin Moyu said, I'm just a supreme. If even you, Sister Fengyao, have no solution, what can I do? Who knows? Lu Fengyao huffed. Lin Moyu's previous actions had nothing to do with his realm. Now, Lu Fengyao was skeptical of Lin Moyu's words. When he said there was no way, it didn't necessarily mean there was no way. Lin Moyu helplessly indicated that if she didn't believe him, there was nothing he could do. This time, there really was no good solution. Facing a Dao sovereign, Lin Moyu couldn't think of any countermeasures. Even if he used resurrection of the dead to turn the whale into a resurrected being, could his resurrection spell control a Dao sovereign? With the abilities of a Dao sovereign, even a moment of loss of control would mean his death. So, Lin Moyu dismissed this idea from the start. Besides resurrection of the dead, none of his other methods would work. Unless he had a Dao sovereign level corpse, which might be useful, but looking at the whale's aura, he decided against it. The gap between Dao sovereigns was also significant. Lin Moyu said, "Don't worry, trust me, we won't die." Reflecting on their previous experiences, Lin Moyu trusted his judgment that the whale didn't intend to kill them. He recalled all the skeleton generals and waited patiently. The space was rapidly shrinking, faster and faster. Most of the people who fell with them from the altar were still unconscious and were swallowed by the whale. Only a few had woken up but couldn't find their way and were now being drawn here by the shrinking space. In just half a day, the space had shrunk by millions of times. All the conscious people were gathered together: Lin Moyu, Lu Fengyao, 7 divine dragons, and 8 high-level celestial sovereigns. Among them were 5 demon celestial sovereigns and 3 human celestial sovereigns. At this moment, except for Lin Moyu and Lu Fengyao, everyone else was panicking and uneasy. Facing such a situation, it was natural to be terrified. Some even thought of attacking the whale, but the whale's Dao sovereign aura was so oppressive that they couldn't move. The gap between celestial sovereigns and Dao sovereigns was too vast. If the whale were alive, it wouldn't need to lift a finger, its aura alone could crush them. Lu Fengyao bit her silver teeth and whispered, when it was alive, it must have been an extremely powerful Dao sovereign. Lin Moyu agreed, "You're right." Lu Fengyao gritted her teeth, "Do you have any tricks? Hurry up, I feel like I'm going to die." Lin Moyu's eyes were confident, "I really have no tricks left. Trust me, we won't die." Lu Fengyao looked at Lin Moyu's confident demeanor, "All right, I'll trust you one more time." With a dull roar, the remaining space was swallowed by the whale, taking Lin Moyu and the others with it. Lin Moyu felt as if he were undergoing a long transmission, with a mysterious force scanning him inside and out, leaving no secrets. This force scanned his physical body and then began to invade his soul world. In his rule world, the world tree radiated light, resisting the force. The 10-colored dragon soul crystal breathed dragon breath, helping the world tree purify all foreign forces. Lin Moyu had lost control of his physical body, which fell into a dormant state, but his soul remained exceptionally clear. Trying to probe my soul? Not that easy. His physical body could be examined freely, as there were no secrets within it. But his soul world was different. The 10-colored dragon soul crystal alone couldn't be revealed to anyone. This was Lin Moyu's forbidden area. Intruders would die. Lin Moyu grasped the calamity staff, ready for battle. Fortunately, the force retreated like a tide after encountering resistance from the world tree and the 10-colored dragon soul crystal. Lin Moyu quickly understood what was happening. Those who were swallowed must undergo both physical and soul searches. If they were unconscious, their souls would also be dormant, and their rule world wouldn't resist, allowing the search to be completed easily. But since he was conscious, his rule world naturally resisted, and the force retreated after probing. Searching someone's soul is a grave offense. If the person knew, it would be a fight to the death. This indicated that the whale didn't want to offend them to death and wouldn't kill them. The search was likely to check for fish bones. Lin Moyu speculated that the king of the realm sea wanted to know how many fish bones were brought back. He had said before that fish bones couldn't be taken away. The 3 fish bones in his storage space were still there. Lin Moyu decided to see what the king of the realm sea would do next before deciding whether to hand over the fish bones. A powerful pressure swept over them like a mountain, and everyone realized that the king of the realm sea had arrived. Chapter 2467, 2467. Chapter 2467, What's the use of soul transmission? A black shadow appeared in the sky, and the phantom of the king of the realm sea appeared above everyone's heads. His appearance was unclear, but it was evident that he was very powerful and terrifying. The king of the realm sea had many Dao sovereigns under his command, and the fact that these Dao sovereigns bowed to him indicated his immense strength. The principle of the strong rule applied in every corner of the origin continent. The conscious individuals present bowed to the king of the realm sea. Even the proud dragons had to lower their heads. The disparity in strength was too great to be compensated by status. The voice of the king of the realm sea slowly resounded, "Congratulations on returning safely. Please hand over the fish bones you have collected, and I will give you corresponding rewards." Lin Moyu immediately realized that his guess was correct. The king of the realm sea already knew how many fish bones each person had. He did not take them by force but allowed them to be handed over voluntarily. This approach gave everyone face and ensured that no fish bones were missed. Lin Moyu looked at the distant unconscious people lying on the ground. They were indeed not dead, but Lin Moyu instinctively felt that there was a difference between these unconscious individuals and those who were awake like himself. Activating the eye of the undead and observing closely, he gradually discovered some differences. The soul fires of the unconscious people seemed to have been injured. Their souls are wounded. Strange, how did their souls get injured? Before they were swallowed by the whale, their souls were not injured. This means the injuries occurred after being swallowed. And we, the conscious ones, do not seem to be injured. Lin Moyu couldn't figure out what had happened, but there was no time to think deeply. The few conscious individuals began to take out their fish bones. Almost everyone had obtained a fish bone, and each had only one. Only Lu Fengyao had 2 fish bones, one of which was given by Lin Moyu. Lu Fengyao looked somewhat smug, having more fish bones than anyone else. The fish bones flew out of their hands and were collected by the king of the realm sea. After everyone handed over their fish bones, Lin Moyu also took out his fish bones. He chose not to hide them, unsure if his storage space could evade the king of the realm sea search. For safety, he decided to hand them over. The fish bones were not currently useful to him, and it wasn't worth risking his life for them. 3 differently shaped fish bones appeared in his hand. Lu Fengyao's beautiful eyes widened. "You have so many." She then realized why Lin Moyu had been so generous in giving her a fish bone. It turned out he had 4 fish bones, giving her 1 and keeping 3. Her earlier smugness vanished instantly. As Lin Moyu took out the 3 fish bones, he felt a gaze fall upon him. The gaze was tangible, carrying an indescribable weight, pressing down on him. Lin Moyu seemed to hear a soft, hum, as if the king of the realm sea was surprised. "He can't detect my storage space." With just a small reaction, Lin Moyu immediately realized that even the king of the realm sea couldn't probe his storage space. This was why the king was surprised when he took out the fish bones. Perhaps the king had thought he didn't have any fish bones. Obtaining fish bones wasn't easy, and not having any was normal. An invisible force descended, and the 3 fish bones with Tao patterns slowly rose into the air, collected by the king of the realm sea. Simultaneously, several gems fell from the sky, each exuding a strong aura of origin. "These are origin crystals." "No, they aren't origin crystals, but the aura isn't fake." At first glance, Lin Moyu thought they were origin crystals, but upon closer inspection, he realized they were different. They resembled world crystals but were still distinct. Among the crowd, Lu Fengyao, with the broadest knowledge, covered her mouth and exclaimed, "World gems." Others also recognized these gems, becoming excited. Lin Moyu didn't know what world gems were, but from everyone's expressions, he could tell they weren't ordinary items. Otherwise, someone as accustomed to good things as Lu Fengyao wouldn't be so excited. Lin Moyu transmitted his voice to Lu Fengyao, "What are world gems?" Lu Fengyao replied, "They are valuable treasures. I'll explain later." The voice of the king of the realm sea echoed, "These are your rewards. These world gems are of excellent quality and extremely precious. I hope they will be of help to you." As he spoke, the world gems flew towards everyone. Except for Lu Fengyao and Lin Moyu, each person received 1 gem. Lu Fengyao received 2, and Lin Moyu received 3. Lin Moyu felt the envious and jealous gazes of others, including the 2 high-level divine dragons. The king of the realm sea's voice sounded again, "Now, please swear a soul oath not to reveal today's events." Though the king of the realm sea seemed to be asking, his tone was firm, essentially a command. Anyone who dared not swear would not leave safely. Naturally, no one dared to defy him, and they all swore soul oaths. Lin Moyu followed suit, swearing not to reveal today's events. Throughout the process, no one dared to fake it. With a Tao sovereign watching overhead, doing so would be courting death. After the oaths were made, the king of the realm sea said softly, "Please rest aside. Once the others awaken, we will return together." An invisible force enveloped the area, and the king of the realm sea moved to another region where the unconscious individuals were. It was clear that the treatment of the conscious and unconscious would differ. Lin Moyu wanted to see the difference between the two groups. At this moment, a high-level human celestial sovereign approached Lin Moyu and bowed slightly. I am Shang Barong. Lin Xiaoyu, would you be willing to sell a world gem? Name your price. His words were polite, treating Lin Moyu as an equal. Before Lin Moyu could respond, Lu Fengyao intervened, not for sale. Shang Tianzun, don't try to take advantage. Shang Tianzun smiled, I will offer a fair price. Lu Fengyao replied, fine, 1 world level 6th grade origin crystal for 1 gem. Shang Tianzun smiled bitterly, Fengyao fairy, that's too much. Lu Fengyao retorted, you and I both know the value of these high-quality world gems. 1 world level 6th grade origin crystal isn't too much. Shang Tianzun sighed and left without further argument. Lin Moyu was shocked, realizing the high value of the world gems, comparable to world level 6th grade origin crystals. These were only slightly less valuable than world level 7th grade origin crystals and could even surpass ordinary 7th grade origin crystals. Lu Fengyao blocked Shang Tianzun and handed Lin Moyu a jade token. Drop your blood on it, essence blood. Chapter 2468. 2468. Chapter 2468. Depriving intelligence, terrifying means. Lu Fengyao was not polite at all, and Lin Moyu didn't mind. He directly squeezed out a drop of essence blood onto the jade token. The jade token immediately emitted a brilliant light, and Lin Moyu felt a connection forming between himself and the jade token. With a soft sound, the jade token split into two. Lu Fengyao handed half of the jade token to Lin Moyu. From now on, you are a high-level member of the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce. This half of the jade token is your identification. Whenever you come to the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce, just show this half of the jade token, and you can get a 20% discount on purchases. The fish bone you gave me will be converted into origin crystals and stored in your member account when I return. Auntie always does business fairly and justly, never taking advantage of anyone. Lu Fengyao's voice was not low, and everyone present could hear it. She was making it clear to others that there was no way to take advantage of Lin Moyu. Several celestial sovereigns who had been harboring small thoughts immediately abandoned their ideas. With the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce involved, it was difficult to take advantage of Lin Moyu. At this moment, Lu Fengyao handed another jade token to Lin Moyu and transmitted her voice. The uses of the world gem are all recorded inside. Take a look yourself. If you really want to sell the world gem, remember to find me. When you arrive at the origin continent, you can find me at the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce. Lin Moyu was slightly stunned. Is Sister Fengyao's world about to advance to the 7th level? Most celestial sovereigns participate in the world competition for the 7th level world origin. Before reaching the 7th level, few would voluntarily end it. Lu Fengyao said, I was still a bit short, but now with the world gem, it should be fine. I might return to the origin continent soon. When you see me again, Auntie might already be a Dao sovereign. By then, Auntie will cover you, and you can do whatever you want. Lin Moyu was speechless. This young lady who called herself Auntie seemed too excited. But Lin Moyu still followed her words. Then congratulations to Sister Fengyao in advance. When I come to the origin continent, I'll rely on you. Lu Fengyao took it all in stride. Just come, I'll take care of your food and lodging. She was indeed double standard, ruthless to enemies but generous to her own people. However, Lin Moyu appreciated and liked this kind of double standard. In the distance, a peculiar sound was heard, and Lin Moyu's soul slightly trembled. He saw those unconscious people waking up one by one. After they woke up, their eyes seemed a bit dazed before returning to normal. The king of the realm sea appeared above them, and the same process repeated. Those people also took out fish bones in exchange for rewards. However, their rewards were not world gems but origin crystals. Each fish bone could be exchanged for a 5th level origin crystal. These were not ordinary 5th level origin crystals but high-quality ones, similar to the origin fire Lin Moyu had obtained before. Although these origins were not as valuable as world-level origins, they were still quite valuable. From everyone's expressions, it was clear that they were quite satisfied with such rewards. Something's wrong. Lin Moyu observed their every move and felt something was off. Their every word and action, every small expression, seemed to carry a hint of dullness. No one who can become a celestial sovereign is a fool. They are all smart people. Regardless of their personality, the liveliness in their eyes and demeanor is unmatched by ordinary people. But now, that liveliness was gone from these people. Although it was a small change, Lin Moyu keenly captured it. He immediately realized what was happening, their intelligence has weakened. He thought of the whale. To revive, it needed not only immense life force to restore its body but also to restore its soul. Not just the soul itself but also intelligence. The king of the realm sea used a very special method to deprive these celestial sovereigns of part of their intelligence. The deprivation was minimal, so much so that they couldn't even feel it, at most thinking their souls had suffered some insignificant damage. This minor damage wouldn't affect their realm or cultivation, they were still as powerful as before. But Lin Moyu knew their foundation had been damaged, making it almost impossible for them to advance further. Unless they had some extraordinary opportunity, they would never become Tao sovereigns. They would remain celestial sovereigns forever. For a celestial sovereign, being unable to advance to Tao sovereign for life is a despairing thought. Soon, their souls would recover, and no one would notice what had happened. A chill rose from the depths of Lin Moyu's soul. He never expected it to be like this. The king of the realm sea didn't kill them, but what he did was even more terrifying than killing them. If he hadn't prematurely destroyed the altar, he might have ended up like these people, unconscious and deprived of part of his intelligence without even realizing it. Lin Moyu wasn't sure if his new life talent would have worked if this had happened to him. The means of a Tao sovereign are indeed terrifying. Destroying someone's future without them even knowing. Lin Moyu sighed in his heart, grateful to have avoided this disaster. At this moment, Lu Fengyao's voice came to his ear, "What are you looking at?" Lin Moyu replied, "I'm looking at their rewards, which are different from ours." Lu Fengyao said, "Yes, they only got 5th level origins. Although not bad, they can't compare to world gems. I don't know why, but they seem quite happy." Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't reveal his discovery. If he did, he might not live long. No longer paying attention to them, Lin Moyu took the jade token given by Lu Fengyao and checked its contents. During the world competition, many treasures are used for the competition. World gems are one of them, with great and simple uses. Their biggest use is to promote the Realm Sea world. To advance, the Realm Sea world needs to devour the origins of other worlds. Many strange fish in the Realm Sea possess origins, filled with impurities. After being refined by the Realm Sea world, they can enhance it to some extent. If the Realm Sea world is injured, it can also use them for recovery, as long as the injury isn't too severe. But if the injury is too severe or if the Realm Sea world wants to advance, they become useless. It must devour other Realm Sea worlds or directly use world-level origins. Another method is using world gems. World gems are a special type of world-level origin, not for cultivation or fusion with spells but for advancing the Realm Sea world. The higher the level of the Realm Sea world, the more world gems are needed, and the higher the quality required. According to Lu Fengyao, the world gems they received were high quality, capable of advancing a 6th level world to a 7th level world. A weak 6th level world needs only 3 such world gems to advance to the 7th level. Lu Fengyao's 6th level world was already strong, needing only 1 gem. Shang Tianzun's 6th level world might not be strong enough, needing more than 1 gem, which is why he wanted to buy one from Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu didn't know the stage of his Realm Sea world, but with 3 world gems, it was certainly enough. No wonder the celestial sovereigns envied him. World gems were highly coveted treasures. A rumbling sound came from the square, and the ground trembled slightly. Lin Moyu felt the square rising, leaving the depths of the Realm Sea. They were going back. Chapter 2469, 2469. Chapter 2469. You are very smart, and your luck is strong. Everyone who participated in the Realm Sea token event seemed satisfied. Although there were casualties, the number was not high, and no one paid much attention to the deceased. On the Origin continent and in the Realm Sea world, countless people die every day. Most of those who become celestial sovereigns have fought their way through mountains of corpses and seas of blood and are accustomed to such things. Especially in the Realm Sea world competition, the number of dead beings is countless. If such things could affect their Tao hearts, they would not be qualified to become celestial sovereigns. Lu Fengyao sighed in relief. Finally, we're going back. She was also very happy. After returning, she planned to use the world gems to elevate her world to the 7th level, then harvest the 7th level world origin. After some more preparation, she could use the 7th level world origin to advance to Tao sovereign. At this moment, Lin Moyu was not as optimistic as others. The chill in his soul had not dissipated, and the methods of the King of the Realm Sea made him feel uneasy. Until he truly left, Lin Moyu's heart could not be at peace. However, on the surface, Lin Moyu appeared nonchalant, as if nothing had happened. He even seemed a bit excited like the others. Lin Moyu suddenly asked, Sister Fengyao, what do you plan to do with the beings in your realm sea world after it reaches the 7th level? Lu Fengyao chuckled, there are no beings in my world. Lin Moyu was taken aback, no beings. Lu Fengyao explained, I considered this issue from the beginning. The beings inside are hard to manage, so I chose another method. There are no beings inside. I placed many puppets inside. When it's time to fight, I let the puppets do it. And my puppets are made using technological artifacts. They can be mass-produced. When it's time to fight, I just send them in. Using technological artifacts to create puppets to replace living beings meant there was no issue of managing beings after the realm sea world reached the 7th level. Most high-level celestial sovereigns usually harvest origins and perform world-destroying actions. Lu Fengyao clearly didn't want to do that, so she chose another path. Lu Fengyao transmitted her voice, actually, performing world-destroying actions isn't a good thing. Sometimes it involves karmic entanglements. Too much karma can bring unexpected troubles and weaken one's luck. For future considerations, it's better not to perform world-destroying actions. Lin Moyu knew that Lu Fengyao was saying this for his benefit. He nodded, I understand. I'll be careful and see if there's another way. Lu Fengyao acknowledged, of course, if you must perform world-destroying actions, do it cleanly and cut off all karma as much as possible. Lin Moyu nodded to show he understood and then asked, are technological artifacts common on the origin continent? Lu Fengyao replied, not too many. They are created by cultivators who believe in technology. They are indeed quite magical. Lin Moyu curiously asked, can you tell me more? Lu Fengyao shook her head, it's too complex. You have to go to the origin continent and learn for yourself to understand. If you want to know, you can come to the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce and buy some related information. But let me warn you, it's not cheap. Even as a high-level member, you only get a 20% discount. Be prepared with enough money. Lin Moyu nodded, I'll prepare the money. By money, he meant origin crystals. Lu Fengyao, at her core, was a businesswoman. Being fair and just in business didn't conflict with being loyal and righteous. After a while, the square finally stopped rising. Lin Moyu could feel that they had returned to their previous position, not far from the surface of the realm sea. The phantom of the king of the realm sea reappeared, everyone, use the realm sea token to return to your world. His words were like a command. Beams of light descended from the sky, enveloping everyone. The realm sea token was automatically activated, forming a light sphere around each person. The realm sea token brought them here, and now it would take them back. Lu Fengyao stood in the light, smiling brightly at Lin Moyu, remember to come find me. Auntie will take care of you. Lin Moyu waved back, wishing Sister Fengyao a smooth advancement to Dao Sovereign in advance. As his words fell, Lu Fengyao disappeared. The beams of light quickly carried everyone away, returning them to their realm sea worlds. However, Lin Moyu's expression grew serious because he hadn't left. Although he was enveloped in light like the others, the realm sea token hadn't taken him away. Lin Moyu had a bad feeling, could it be that my storage space has aroused the king of the realm sea's curiosity? Or does he know that I discovered what he did? As he speculated wildly, the phantom of the king of the realm sea reappeared in the sky. Two beams of light, like eyes, fell on Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu felt a heavy pressure, the gaze of a Dao sovereign weighing on him. You are quite special. A deep, heavy voice sounded in Lin Moyu's ears. His soul trembled, but he forced himself to remain calm. You kept me here. Do you have any instructions? The king of the realm sea spoke softly, don't be afraid. I'm not here to settle scores, even if you discovered my secret. Lin Moyu smiled bitterly. Despite his caution, he couldn't hide from a Dao sovereign. However, he didn't sense any killing intent from the king of the realm sea, indicating there was room for negotiation. Lin Moyu tried to remain calm and humble. What do you want me to do? Should I swear another soul oath? The king of the realm sea seemed to be scrutinizing Lin Moyu, his gaze penetrating. Lin Moyu felt as if he were being seen through. Fortunately, the scrutiny stopped without further action. You are very smart. Among the people I've met, there are few like you. Smart people often live longer, and they tend to have better luck. Lin Moyu humbly replied, you flatter me. In my world, there's a saying, a lifetime of wisdom can be undone by a moment of folly. Sometimes, being too smart isn't a good thing, it can lead to disaster. The king of the realm sea chuckled, not for you. I haven't finished. Your luck is also very strong, among the strongest I've seen. Though you are only a supreme, your luck rivals that of some Dao sovereigns. This suggests that you are highly likely to become a Dao sovereign in the future, and not an ordinary one. The King of the Realm Sea's words seemed to explain why he wouldn't kill Lin Moyu. It was because Lin Moyu was both smart and had strong luck. Lin Moyu understood the underlying message. The king had something he wanted Lin Moyu to do. Lin Moyu smiled. If you have something to say, just say it. I will do my best. The King of the Realm Sea said, you don't have the ability now. You need to become a Dao sovereign first. I just need a promise from you. When you become a Dao sovereign, don't refuse when I come to you. Of course, I won't send you to your death. I will give you a reward that will make all Dao sovereigns envious. Lin Moyu thought to himself, he's already making promises. He knew that whatever the King of the Realm Sea wanted him to do wouldn't be simple. But for now, he had no right to refuse. Outwardly, he showed interest, a reward that will make all Dao sovereigns envious. Are you sure it's not dangerous? He looked tempted but also appropriately hesitant. At this moment, Lin Moyu's years of acting skills were put to the test. Chapter 2470, 2470. Chapter 2470. The Great Dao Struggle. I walk alone. After repeatedly receiving assurances from the King of the Realm Sea, Lin Moyu finally confirmed that the task the king wanted him to undertake was not entirely without danger. In other words, it was dangerous for others but manageable for him. The reason was that he was smart enough and had strong luck. The combination of these factors made the King of the Realm Sea believe that Lin Moyu could accomplish the task. Lin Moyu discreetly asked why the King of the Realm Sea didn't go himself. With so many Dao sovereigns in the Sea tribe, why not send them? The answer he received was both amusing and frustrating. The King of the Realm Sea's answer was simple, not suitable. There was no detailed explanation, but this answer was sufficient. The three words could imply many things, not suitable in terms of intelligence, luck, or even race. Anything was possible, and only time would tell. Under these circumstances, Lin Moyu had only one choice, to agree to the King of the Realm Sea's request. Moreover, during their conversation, Lin Moyu discovered that although the King of the Realm Sea's methods were ruthless, he still valued fairness. For example, in this situation, as long as one could stay conscious and not fall into a coma, the king wouldn't forcefully take action. Otherwise, with his power, he could have easily stripped away intelligence or even altered memories. But he didn't do that, so Lin Moyu felt that the King of the Realm Sea was fair to some extent. Such a person was not entirely impossible to deal with. After agreeing to the King of the Realm Sea's request, Lin Moyu made a new soul oath not to disclose anything that happened today. The King of the Realm Sea then had Lin Moyu leave a soul imprint on the square, promising to find him through this imprint in the future. As Lin Moyu's realm increased, the soul imprint would also change. Even when Lin Moyu reached the Dao Sovereign realm, the king would know. Before parting, Lin Moyu suddenly asked a question that had been on his mind for a long time. He had wanted to ask Lu Fengyao before but later realized she probably wouldn't know the answer. Perhaps the King of the Realm Sea, with his vast knowledge, would have an answer. Lin Moyu wanted to know if there was a way for the human emperor and old star to advance further. Xiao Zontian had sacrificed a lot for the human race in the great world. Later, through a technological artifact, his soul and magical body were separated, guarding the human race for countless years. Although they gained immortality, they couldn't advance further. Lin Moyu had tried various methods, all to no avail. When he posed the question, the King of the Realm Sea provided 3 methods. The first method was to find a suitable technological artifact to enhance their realms, but the extent of the enhancement depended on the artifact's level. The second method was to fully control the world and merge the two, essentially resurrecting Xiao Zontian. The third method was to let them reincarnate, but this required Lin Moyu to control the world and reach the Dao Sovereign realm. They could then reincarnate in the origin continent, retaining their memories and living anew. Each method had its pros and cons, allowing Lin Moyu to choose freely. The first method had many limitations, and technological artifacts were hard to find. The second method involved merging 2 individuals with independent consciousnesses, requiring a choice of dominance. The third method seemed the best but required Lin Moyu to reach the Dao Sovereign realm first. Although none of these methods could be implemented immediately, the King of the Realm Sea had at least provided options, leaving the choice to Lin Moyu. Perhaps still hoping Lin Moyu would work for him after becoming a Dao sovereign, the king of the Realm Sea was very accommodating, answering almost all his questions. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Lin Moyu asked several key questions, including one that had troubled him for a long time, and received answers. Through this Q&A, Lin Moyu gained a better understanding of the King of the Realm Sea's temperament. Finally, accompanied by the light of the Realm Sea token, Lin Moyu left the Sea Tribe Square. The square became quiet, and the phantom of the King of the Realm Sea chuckled, "This little guy is interesting. I hope he won't disappoint me in the future." This time was very successful. The old whale can finally be revived. In a peculiar space over 1,000,000 meters deep in the Realm Sea, low, muffled roars echoed continuously. The surrounding sea creatures fled upon hearing the sound, not daring to approach. In the peculiar space, it seemed a terrifying creature was awakening. Since the start of the Realm Sea token event, the Great World had been shrouded in light. The sea around the Great World was calm, without a single ripple. Waterstop Celestial Sovereign had been watching quietly near the Great World since the start of the Realm Sea token event. As long as the light remained, it meant Lin Moyu was safe. He had experienced the Realm Sea token many times and knew that if the light disappeared and the person didn't return, it meant that person was dead. On this day, the light suddenly vanished. Waterstop Celestial Sovereign opened his eyes wide and saw Lin Moyu appear out of thin air. He breathed a long sigh of relief and swam over. "You brat, you're finally back." Lin Moyu looked at Waterstop Celestial Sovereign and smiled brightly. "You've been waiting all this time." Seeing Waterstop Celestial Sovereign as soon as he returned, Lin Moyu knew he had been waiting all along, feeling a bit touched. Waterstop Celestial Sovereign snorted, "Who's waiting? I was just looking for a place to sleep and happened to sleep here." Lin Moyu didn't expose him. "How long was I gone?" Whether in the Sea Tribe Square or that peculiar space, Lin Moyu felt that time was somewhat chaotic. He knew the timelines there were different but couldn't determine the exact difference. Waterstop Celestial Sovereign said, "About 200 days. 200 days in the Realm Sea equated to over 5,000 years in the Great World." Lin Moyu smiled, "That's not too long." Waterstop Celestial Sovereign snorted, "Not too long. A Celestial Sovereign has appeared in your world. That Celestial Sovereign seems restless, wanting to become the World Lord, but he hasn't succeeded yet." Lin Moyu raised an eyebrow, a hint of coldness in his eyes. "Is that so? 5,000 years is indeed not short. A lot can happen." He remembered that before participating in the Realm Sea token event, some cultivators were close to reaching peak supreme. With a bit of luck, becoming a Celestial Sovereign after 5,000 years wasn't impossible. After all, the Great World had recovered, and various rare materials were being nurtured. With a strong origin, the cultivation speed of the beings inside had greatly increased. Waterstop Celestial Sovereign asked, "What do you plan to do?" Lin Moyu smiled, "The Great Tao struggle, I walk alone." He wasn't a saint. Although they were all human, if someone wanted to take his position, they had to be killed. The Great Tao struggle meant the World Lord could only be him. No matter who it was, anyone who tried to take his position had to die. Waterstop Celestial Sovereign laughed, "The Great Tao struggle, well said. Such people deserve to be killed." Chapter 2471, 2471. Chapter 2471, New Celestial Lord, Human Emperor injured. The atmosphere in the Great World became somewhat unusual. As soon as Lin Moyu entered, he sensed the change. A Celestial Lord had appeared in the world, someone who, like himself, had made contact with the Great World's origin. Celestial Lords were qualified to make contact with the Great World's origin. However, to become the master of the world, just being a low-level Celestial Lord was not enough. Back then, there were so many Celestial Lords in the Great World, yet none of them had become the master of the Great World. It was only because he had saved the Great World that he received special care from it and gained recognition. Otherwise, as a mere supreme being, he would have been nothing in a 6th-level world. Lin Moyu opened a space-time gate and silently arrived at the core of the Great World, stepping into the origin. Scanning the Great World with his gaze, he couldn't help but sneer, "This Celestial Lord isn't doing anything substantial." There was still only one divine path in the Great World, the one he had built. This divine path led directly to the Great World's origin, and those who could become supreme beings through this path were a bit stronger than those who used other divine paths. Now, it was the only divine path. Normally, a Celestial Lord would have the ability to build divine paths, and the Great World now had enough resources, but that Celestial Lord hadn't done so. Lin Moyu came before the origin and said softly, "Let me see what you've done." He communicated with the Great World's origin, wanting to know exactly what had happened in the Great World during this time. The Great World's origin sensed Lin Moyu and expressed a joyful aura. Lin Moyu knew he was the only one recognized by the Great World's origin. If it were someone else, the Great World's origin wouldn't be so polite. Through the Great World's origin, Lin Moyu finally saw the newly ascended Celestial Lord. He was a very handsome young man who didn't seem to have been cultivating for very long, clearly a genius. However, his eyes were somewhat gloomy, as if he had many ulterior motives. Lin Moyu didn't like him. It wasn't that he disliked his gloominess, but the malice that flowed from the depths of his eyes. Lin Moyu's soul was extremely sensitive, especially in the Great World, where this sensitivity reached its peak. Lin Moyu didn't need to make contact to know the general situation of this person. Lin Moyu learned that this new celestial lord was called Shiding Tian, and he had only been cultivating for just over 10,000 years. When he went to participate in the Sea of Realms decree, Shiding Tian had just entered the Supreme Being realm. More than 5,000 years later, he had transformed from a Supreme Being into a Celestial Lord. This talent could be said to be quite astonishing. Shiding Tian came before the Great World's origin with a strong posture, vainly hoping to become the world's master, but was mercilessly rejected by the Great World's origin. The Great World's origin didn't recognize him at all. A mere low-level Celestial Lord was nothing. Shiding Tian seemed to know he couldn't provoke the Great World's origin and didn't insist. However, from his gloomy eyes, it could be seen that he was not resigned. Lin Moyu said softly, "Although his talent is good, his thoughts are not pure. This kind of person would do anything for his own cultivation path." He walked the path of ruthlessness, which was not the same as Lin Moyu's path. Lin Moyu observed Shiding Tian's entire life through the Great World's origin. From a young age, Shiding Tian had shown strong cultivation talent, while also revealing his selfish personality. Once during an adventure, he watched his companion die without lifting a finger to help, even though he had the ability, just because of a magical treasure his companion had. There was once someone who liked him, but for the sake of his own path, he was willing to give the person he liked as a gift to someone else. Similar things happened quite a few times. Lin Moyu realized something was wrong with the human emperor. In the 5,000 years since he left, many changes had occurred in the Great World. The appearance of a low-level celestial lord like Shiding Tian was just one of them. An even bigger issue was that the human emperor had lost control over the Great World. Lin Moyu found it strange. He had clearly given the human emperor 2 low-level celestial lord revenants, so why would this happen? If the human emperor could still control the human race, many dramatic events would be difficult to occur. Lin Moyu checked the human emperor's situation again, and sure enough, there was a problem with the human emperor. The next second, Lin Moyu left the Great World's origin and appeared directly in the core area where the human emperor was located. Here, there was not only the human emperor but also many human supreme beings. Lin Moyu knew most of these supreme beings. They were all veterans who had participated in the 100 Races War. These veterans were once transcendents, later became holy lords, and now most had become supreme beings. Unfortunately, due to the circumstances of that era, they had taken the wrong path. After reaching the Supreme Being realm, it was very difficult for them to progress further. Those with good luck and talent had reached the high-level Supreme Being realm. Those with worse luck had stopped at the low-level Supreme Being realm. They gathered together like a battle formation, protecting the human emperor. With their strength, they originally shouldn't have been able to defend, but fortunately, they had some descendants. These descendants had good talent and hadn't taken the wrong path, so they still had a chance. Lin Moyu saw several peak supreme beings with solid foundations who had the potential to break through to the Celestial Lord realm. The human emperor was indeed injured. Once, he was like a fixed star, guarding this place, guarding the entire human territory for a full 100,000 years. But now, his radiance was no longer brilliant, even somewhat dim. This fixed star had shattered by a third, nearly collapsing. The human emperor's true body had been damaged, causing the human emperor network to be severely damaged as well. The power of the human emperor network had become very weak. Killing intent rose in Lin Moyu's eyes. To attack the human emperor who had guarded the human race for over 100,000 years was unforgivable. Lin Moyu revealed his form, and his appearance immediately alerted those present. Someone recognized Lin Moyu and immediately exclaimed, "It's Supreme Lord Lin. Supreme Lord Lin has returned." Supreme Lord Lin has returned. The cheers grew louder and louder, echoing through space. Lin Moyu's return seemed like a shot of adrenaline injected into everyone's souls. Especially those who had fought alongside Lin Moyu had blind confidence in him. It seemed that as long as Lin Moyu arrived, any problem could be solved. Many people flew over when they heard the commotion, seeing this legendary figure Lin Moyu. Many of them were descendants of various Supreme Beings' families, who had grown up hearing legends about Lin Moyu. Now that they finally saw him in person, they couldn't help but feel a bit disappointed. Lin Moyu was still a peak Supreme Being. They knew how vast the gap was between a Supreme Being and a Celestial Lord. No matter how powerful a peak Supreme Being was, they were still just a Supreme Being and couldn't be compared to a Celestial Lord. Master! Amidst the joyful cries, Little Mist flew over like a bolt of lightning, directly hanging onto Lin Moyu. After many years, Little Mist was still the same Little Mist, with no changes in personality or appearance. The only thing that had changed was her realm. Little Mist had already reached the peak Supreme Being realm. Judging solely by realm, she was no longer inferior to Lin Moyu. After Little Mist, several other familiar faces rushed over. Lin Moyu bowed slightly to the newcomers, Supreme Lord Hao, Supreme Lord Tian, Supreme Lord Zan. The former veteran Holy Lords had all become Supreme Beings. However, their cultivation progress was difficult. Only Supreme Lord Tian and Supreme Lord Hao had become high-level Supreme Beings. Others like Supreme Lord Zan had only reached the mid-level Supreme Being realm and found it hard to advance further. Seeing that his old acquaintances were still around, the killing intent in Lin Moyu's heart also subsided somewhat. Supreme Lord Hao came before Lin Moyu, his tightly furrowed brows relaxing into a rare smile. "It's good that you're back, it's good that you're back." Supreme Lord Tian seemed somewhat excited. "We've finally waited for you to return." In their eyes, as long as Lin Moyu came back, any trouble could be resolved. Lin Moyu said in a low voice, "Tell me, what exactly happened?" Chapter 2472, 2472. Chapter 2472. I am the rules of the Great World. Many things happened to the human race in the Great World over these years. Due to the recovery of the origin, all things evolved, and geniuses emerged in large numbers. The Great World ushered in another golden age. The older generation, due to inherent reasons, gradually fell behind and couldn't keep up with the times. The new generation rose rapidly, their strength beginning to surpass the older generation, becoming the new pillars of society. With power, they wanted to possess even greater authority. This kind of situation had already shown signs 10,000 years ago. But at that time, there was still the great god Lin Moyu keeping things in check, so even if those people had some thoughts, they didn't dare to act recklessly. At that time, the old and new forces could still maintain a certain balance. Lin Moyu gave two low-level Celestial Lord revenants to the human emperor, which maintained this balance for several thousand years. Until the recent 1,000 years or so, when a Celestial Lord was born among the new forces, the balance was completely broken. The new forces became aggressive, wanting greater power, especially wanting the human emperor to give up control over the entire human race. The human emperor had managed the human race for over 100,000 years and had become the foundation of the human race. This point could not be changed. Naturally, intense conflicts erupted between the two sides. Fortunately, there were also geniuses in the old force families, and with the revenants left behind by Lin Moyu, they could still resist. The strength of the two revenants surpassed that of the Celestial Lord of the new forces. Later, they discovered that it was the human emperor controlling these two Celestial Lords, while the human emperor was only a half-step Supreme Being. In a sneak attack, the human emperor was severely injured and fell into a deep sleep. Without anyone to control them, the two Celestial Lord revenants also became inactive. At the time, Lin Moyu's order to them was to obey the human emperor's commands. No one else could command them. Lin Moyu could understand the power struggle. Sometimes Lin Moyu would think that some small conflicts could stimulate people's motivation and make this world more prosperous. But he didn't expect things would develop to this extent. Fortunately, the human emperor was only severely injured and asleep, not truly dead. Lin Moyu lowered his gaze. This matter was my oversight. I didn't expect things would develop to this point. If he had left a few more revenants at that time, or if the revenants could also obey others' commands, this wouldn't have happened. He had always thought the human emperor had enough ability to command the overall situation, but forgot that he was only a half-step Supreme Being. Facing a sudden attack from a Celestial Lord, he might not even have had time to react. Also, he didn't expect that the opposing Celestial Lord would be so shameless. A dignified Celestial Lord actually doing such sneaky things. Besides this, there was also the Sea of Realms decree, which made him leave for too long. Otherwise, he would have discovered this situation early on and could have directly intervened. Supreme Lord Hao said, "We're at a disadvantage. After all, they now have a Celestial Lord, and we're no match. We can only hold out here. The two you left behind are still guarding the human emperor for now. Perhaps it's also because of your existence that they don't dare to deliver the final blow." Cold intent rose in Lin Moyu's eyes. Fortunately, it's not too late now. Trouble you all to make a list of those involved in this matter over the years. I'll have a chat with them one by one. Supreme Lord Tian raised an eyebrow. How do you plan to chat? Lin Moyu said, kill those who should be killed, bury those who should be buried. Few words, but harsh enough. Supreme Lord Hao said, but the other side is a celestial lord of the great world. He wasn't worried that Lin Moyu couldn't defeat the other party, but rather that the other party was a celestial lord that the great world had finally produced. It seemed a bit of a waste to just kill them. Lin Moyu said coldly, a dog that can't be tamed, why keep it for the new year? Moreover, I want to tell everyone that in this world, no matter what realm you reach, you must follow the rules. Those who don't follow the rules, kill them as they appear. At this moment, Lin Moyu's mindset had undergone a huge change. He was no longer the junior who needed everyone's support. Now, he was the strong one who saved this world and would become the master of this world in the future. His rules were the rules of this world. After examining the human emperor's injuries, he found that the human emperor's true body had suffered some damage. Lin Moyu didn't have the ability to repair technological artifacts, but fortunately, this artifact that the human emperor had obtained was very powerful and had the characteristic of self-repair. He used the power of life to stabilize the human emperor's soul, then refined several portions of origin for the human emperor to absorb, speeding up his recovery. After Lin Moyu's series of operations, it wouldn't be long before the human emperor could recover. Supreme Lord Hao prepared the list, and Lin Moyu looked it over, saying in a flat tone, quite a few people. 1 Celestial Lord, 6 peak Supreme Beings, and adding up the high, middle, and low-level Supreme Beings, there are hundreds. Involving 32 great families, from both the Four Directions Star region and the Divine City Star region. Not bad, not bad. Quite bold. Supreme Lord Tian asked, how many do you plan to kill? Lin Moyu said, not one will be left above the Supreme Being level. As for these families, they will never produce Supreme Beings again. If you're going to do it thoroughly, to ensure there are no future troubles. Kill these Supreme Beings, then seal off the path to Supreme Being for these families. In the future, anyone with the bloodline of these 32 families will never be able to ascend to Supreme Being. Lin Moyu had this ability. The divine path was built by him, so he could naturally control it. Doing this was also to tell everyone in the entire great world to behave and obey. Lin Moyu looked at Supreme Lord Hao and the others, seniors, do you want to come with me? Supreme Lord Hao and the others looked at each other, then nodded, all right. Over these years, they had also suffered no small amount of grievances. Now it was time for a reckoning. On the edge of the Divine City Star region, in what was once empty space, many stars had appeared. These stars were all self-evolved by the great world in recent tens of thousands of years. The closer to the core, the stronger the origin power, and the more resources evolved. Here, hundreds of giant palaces floated in space, forming a triangle. The palace at the top was extremely luxurious, called the Celestial Lord Palace by the world. Naturally, only a Celestial Lord could live inside. This was the first Celestial Lord born in the great world since ancient times, revered and worshipped by the world. Shi Dingtian, self-proclaimed as the realm-controlling Celestial Lord. The intention behind this name was obvious, he wanted to control this world. Below the Celestial Lord Palace were the palaces belonging to the Supreme Beings. Their positions differed according to their realm levels. All these palaces emitted powerful auras, making them difficult to look at directly. Opposite them was the Divine City Star region. All the arrays of the Divine City Star region had been activated, countless stars shining brightly. Red Star Supreme Being's 10,000 stars great array had been moved here to defend the Divine City Star region. At the same time, Munanur's Soul City was also here. The entire Divine City Star region was in a defensive state. In the current situation of the Great World, the old generation forces represented by the human Emperor Star Elder only had the Divine City Star region left. The Four Directions Star region had already been controlled by the 32 families. The current situation was very unfavorable to them. Even if they used all their strength, it would be difficult to resist the realm-controlling Celestial Lord. If it weren't for the fear of Lin Moyu, who had disappeared for many years, that newly ascended Celestial Lord might have already slaughtered Star Elder and the others. Lin Moyu arrived here with Supreme Lord Hao and the others, and he saw Star Elder and the rest. Star Elder, long time no see. Lin Moyu smiled. Star Elder looked displeased. You little brat finally came back. Where on earth did you go? Gone for so many years, making this old man unable to even fish in peace. Lin Moyu smiled. After today, you can continue fishing in peace. Star Elder snorted lightly. I hope so. Mu Nanur revealed herself. Are you confident? Lin Moyu smiled lightly. It's just a Celestial Lord. Chapter 2473, 2473. Chapter 2473, Seeing is Believing. Hundreds of luxurious palaces of various sizes, like a vast army, oppressed the Divine City Star region. Although the Zhang Divine City Star region was large, it was inferior to these palaces in both momentum and strength. In the Heavenly Sovereign Hall, which seemed to sit on the ninth heaven, Shi Dingtian suddenly opened his eyes. He sensed a strange aura, as if danger was approaching. His gaze turned into a sharp light, reaching the origin of the Great World. Suddenly, he found that he could no longer see the origin of the Great World. A barrier had appeared between him and the origin of the Great World. What's going on? Shi Dingtian thought for a moment and seemed to understand what was happening. There was only one person capable of shielding his connection with the origin of the Great World. His gaze penetrated the palace, looking towards the Divine City Star region, and through the myriad star formation, he saw Lin Moyu. He had seen Lin Moyu once by chance. From childhood to adulthood, he had grown up listening to Lin Moyu's stories. In this world, Lin Moyu's existence was a legend. You finally came back. It seems that you didn't fare well in the Realm Sea. After so long, you are still only at the peak supreme level. You were too impatient. You should have cultivated to the Heavenly Sovereign Realm before going to the Realm Sea. You took the wrong path, and you will pay the price for it. This world will be mine sooner or later. You have no chance. Seeing that Lin Moyu was only at the peak supreme level, Shi Dingtian felt relieved. He was very clear about the gap between the peak supreme and the Heavenly Sovereign. No matter how powerful Lin Moyu was, he was still just a supreme and could not surpass him. Just as Shi Dingtian was looking at Lin Moyu also turned his head and smiled at Shi Dingtian. The smile was cold, carrying a killing intent, making Shi Dingtian feel a chill down his spine. He wants to kill me. Shi Dingtian was startled, but immediately dismissed the thought and mocked himself for being scared by a supreme. He got up and flew out of the Heavenly Sovereign Hall, releasing a powerful pressure. In an instant, all the palaces roared collectively, and one by one, powerful supremes flew out of the palaces. My lord, what happened? The supremes asked one after another. Shi Dingtian rarely moved, and when he did, something big was bound to happen. Shi Dingtian looked towards the Divine City Star region. He is back. He is back. The supremes were first stunned, then suddenly shocked. They all guessed who Shi Dingtian was referring to. Most of them had grown up listening to Lin Moyu's legends, but few had actually seen him. Unexpectedly, they could now see the legendary figure. Their eyes followed Shi Dingtian's gaze and finally saw the legendary figure. Lin Moyu flew out from the Divine City Star region, alone, at a moderate speed, looking very ordinary. His aura was not concealed, and the peak supreme level aura was fully displayed. He wore a plain long robe, looking equally ordinary. Apart from his youth, there was nothing special about him. Everyone had the same thought in their minds, seeing is believing. The legendary figure was so ordinary, which was really disappointing. Is he really Lin Moyu? I don't see anything extraordinary. He is still only a peak supreme. That generation is really not good, too weak. After cultivating for so long, he still hasn't reached the Heavenly Sovereign level. It seems he has no hope of reaching it in this lifetime. A legend is just a legend, exaggerated. Several supremes were talking loudly, feeling that Lin Moyu was not as strong as the legend, not even as strong as themselves. Now the Great World was stable, and few supremes had the qualification to break the world barrier and go to the Realm Sea. Only a few Supremes who had been to the Realm Sea knew that the time flow in the Realm Sea was completely different from the Great World. Especially Shi Dingtian, who had left the Great World and truly seen the Realm Sea, knew that the time ratio between the Realm Sea and the Great World was as high as 10,000 times. Lin Moyu had been in the Realm Sea, but only a few years had passed. In such a short time, it was almost impossible for Lin Moyu to break through to the Heavenly Sovereign level. Therefore, Shi Dingtian felt that Lin Moyu had taken the wrong path and should not have gone to the Realm Sea so early. He should have at least reached the Heavenly Sovereign level before going to the Realm Sea. But in that case, he would have no chance. Shi Dingtian looked at Lin Moyu and muttered to himself, perhaps this is fate. This world will belong to me in the future. Your era is over. Lin Moyu came alone and stopped thousands of miles away from Shi Dingtian. Lin Moyu's voice spread to everyone's ears, I give you two choices. One is to abolish your cultivation and go back to your respective families. The other is that I will kill you and then destroy your families. The voice was crisp and emotionless, but it sounded like a joke to these people. Someone laughed loudly, haha, are you crazy? Do you know what you are saying? Although you are very powerful in the legend, no matter how powerful, you are only a peak supreme. Facing a heavenly sovereign, you will still die. A legendary figure, but the legend is exaggerated. You are no exception. Someone laughed at Lin Moyu's arrogance, and some people were already preparing to take action. Shi Dingtian said to the people behind him, go and kill him. Behind him were 6 peak supremes. He decided to test Lin Moyu's strength. After all, he was a legendary figure, and he thought it was better to be cautious. Moreover, Lin Moyu gave him a very dangerous feeling, extremely dangerous. The 6 peak supremes received the order and flew towards Lin Moyu. They all took out their magic weapons, and the powerful aura shook the great world. Under the aura of the peak supremes, countless cracks appeared in the starry sky, and the entire starry sky trembled. Lin Moyu looked at the starry sky and sighed. Compared to the outside realm sea, the space of the great world was too fragile. The supreme realm alone was enough to destroy the space with its aura, while outside, it took a high-level heavenly sovereign to barely create some space cracks. Stronger space meant stronger power and greater bearing capacity. If a Tao sovereign came to the great world now, the aura of the Tao sovereign realm alone would be enough to completely destroy the great world. The creatures in the great world would be like ants in front of a Tao sovereign. The 6 people crossed thousands of miles in an instant and appeared in front of Lin Moyu. One by one, rule worlds emerged, and the power of the peak supremes caused the space to collapse. A series of attacks instantly engulfed Lin Moyu, the starry sky exploded, and the spells illuminated a large part of the starry sky. The people in the Divine City Star region saw this scene and sweated for Lin Moyu. Only a few people like Munaner believed in Lin Moyu and were not worried at all. On Shi Dingtian's side, the Supremes were extremely excited. Die, what legendary figure, no matter how strong you are still a Supreme. You will die just the same. A legend is just a legend, not to be taken seriously. The legend of the great world ends today. Suddenly, their words stopped. Lin Moyu leisurely flew out from the attacks. The attacks fell on him, but he was unscathed. A peculiar Tao wrapped around him, blocking all attacks for Lin Moyu. The reborn Tao protected him, and the attacks of mere Supremes were directly ignored. He is unharmed. Shi Dingtian was shocked. Although the attacks of the 6 peak Supremes were not very strong, even he could not take them so easily. For a moment, he could not see through Lin Moyu's methods. Lin Moyu moved as if in an uninhabited land. A faint light flashed around him, and the star charm which passed by in a flash. The next second, the 6 peak Supremes suddenly changed targets and attacked their companions fiercely. Chapter 2474, 2474. Chapter 2474, You are the weakest celestial lord I've killed. The 6 supreme beings suddenly began killing each other, shocking everyone. Shi Dingtian felt another chill run through him. He still couldn't understand Lin Moyu's methods. Lin Moyu completely ignored the 6 people who were killing each other. He looked at Shi Dingtian with a smile and said, can't figure it out. Don't worry, I'll give you another chance. At this moment, starlight bloomed beside Lin Moyu. The starlight was exceptionally beautiful, like a dream. Star Charm Lich had used its spell, Star Charm. In an instant, the hundreds of supreme beings behind Shi Dingtian simultaneously froze, their gazes becoming unfocused. The next second, they suddenly attacked, launching fierce assaults on the supreme beings nearest to them. A massive melee erupted in space. All the supreme beings seemed to have gone mad, frantically attacking their companions. No matter how good their relationships had been before, they now fought like mortal enemies, showing no mercy. To deal with these people who weren't even celestial lords, Star Charm Lich didn't even need to use the great way of illusion. Star Charm alone was enough, simultaneously influencing hundreds of supreme beings, controlling their souls, and creating illusions was effortless for Star Charm Lich. The chill had now spread from the depths of Shi Dingtian's soul to every corner of his body. He suddenly realized that he didn't understand Lin Moyu at all. This man, who appeared to be only a peak supreme being, had methods far more terrifying than he could imagine. Lin Moyu smiled and said, "Scared? This is just the beginning. How can you be so scared already? You're a celestial lord, how can you be afraid of me, a mere supreme being?" Lin Moyu seemed to be kindly reminding him, but every word that fell on Shi Dingtian's ears had a different effect. He was indeed somewhat scared, even a bit cowardly. But he also knew that he was a celestial lord, and Lin Moyu was only a supreme being. If he suddenly attacked, perhaps he would have a chance. Lin Moyu smiled and said, "What, thinking of launching a sneak attack on me, just like you did to the human emperor?" This sentence completely destroyed Shi Dingtian's thoughts. Lin Moyu smiled and said, "You can try if you want. Maybe you really do have a chance. After all, you're a celestial lord, and I'm just a supreme being." Shi Dingtian's whole body trembled slightly. In his perception, Lin Moyu had become incredibly terrifying. This kind of person was not someone he could deal with. His eyes were full of gloom as he pondered how to deal with Lin Moyu. As for his subordinates who were killing each other, he felt nothing. Those guys could die for all he cared. The key was how he himself could survive, or even how to kill Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu sighed and said, "It seems I overestimated you. Someone like you who is selfish and willing to give away the woman you love, how could you have such courage?" Shi Dingtian's whole body shook, as if his face had been slapped hard. He blurted out, "What nonsense are you talking about?" Lin Moyu smiled and said, "No need to deny it. You know what I'm talking about." At this moment, Shi Dingtian was like a hedgehog with its quills raised. The aura of his entire body surged wildly. The aura of the celestial lord realm was like an abyss, like the sea. The space completely collapsed, and several nearby supreme beings were directly pulverized by his aura. He was thoroughly enraged. The only fig leaf in the depths of his heart had been mercilessly torn away by Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu, protected by the great way of the brocade robe lich, still ignored his aura impact and said, finally angry. "In your life, you haven't been angry many times, right? Including this time, it probably hasn't been more than 5 times." Shi Dingtian's voice turned cold, "You're deliberately provoking me." Lin Moyu nodded, "Yes, I'm doing it on purpose. I want to see how strong a celestial lord of the great world really is. Unfortunately, you're too weak. You're the weakest celestial lord I've killed." Shi Dingtian paused slightly. He was sure he hadn't misheard. Lin Moyu had actually said that he was the weakest celestial lord he had killed. Lin Moyu smiled and said, "Don't believe it. It's okay, you'll understand soon." As he spoke, Lin Moyu snapped his fingers, and a ball of undying flame exploded. A skull throne emerged from the flames. A skeleton king slowly stood up, emanating the aura of a low-level celestial lord, not at all inferior to Shi Dingtian. Shi Dingtian stared at the skeleton king. "Is this your trump card?" Lin Moyu chuckled lightly, "It doesn't even count as a trump card. You're not worth me using a trump card." The skeleton king suddenly raised its bone sword and slashed towards Shi Dingtian. Spell: Divine Bone Slash. A world full of bones rose up behind the skeleton king. Inside, bones were like the sea, countless bones turned into swords, accompanying this slash towards Shi Dingtian. In an instant, Shi Dingtian's hair stood on end, and a sense of danger exploded from the depths of his soul. Shi Dingtian quickly retreated, wanting to avoid this slash from the skeleton king. Lin Moyu shook his head, "It's useless. You can't avoid this slash. Divine Bone Slash couldn't be dodged, it could only be endured head-on." At the same time, it ignored most defensive treasures, and moreover, Shi Dingtian didn't have any defensive treasures. Lin Moyu was right, Shi Dingtian was indeed the weakest celestial lord he had seen, without exception. Celestial lords from the origin continent would at least have some treasures for protection. But Shi Dingtian had become a celestial lord in the great world without even a single treasure. He was pitifully weak. Among low-level celestial lords, Lin Moyu only needed one skeleton king to completely dominate him. The sword light flashed, and Shi Dingtian immediately let out a miserable scream. A bloody mist exploded from his chest, revealing a hole that went straight through. At the same time, countless wounds burst open all over his body from head to toe. His physical body was severely injured by the Skeleton King's slash, and his soul was also damaged by the Bone Law. His physical body faithfully reflected the condition of his soul. With just one slash, Shi Dingtian was critically injured. If another slash came, he would likely die on the spot. At this moment, Shi Dingtian was in a state of panic, with fear rising to an unprecedented level in his heart. How can he be so strong? He's clearly only a peak supreme being, how can he be so strong? I'm no match for him. I must escape. If I don't escape, I'll surely die. Power poured in from the world of rules, stimulating his potential and healing his injuries. Lin Moyu's voice came, you want to escape now, right? But I don't think you have that chance. His voice sounded like a demon's whisper in Shi Dingtian's ears, incredibly terrifying. No matter what Lin Moyu said, he turned to flee. But suddenly, he felt the great world's origin descend, and at the same time, he lost control of his soul. The great world's origin appeared in his vision, and his power was rapidly weakening. The great world's origin was taking back his origin power, and his realm was falling from the celestial lord realm. He had become a celestial lord relying on the great world's origin, and the divine path he had walked was the one Lin Moyu had constructed. Lin Moyu had great authority over both the great world's origin and that divine path. Now, Lin Moyu was taking back his power. Shi Dingtian cried out in terror, what have you done? Why is this happening? Lin Moyu said softly, I'm just taking back what doesn't belong to you. Shi Dingtian's aura gradually weakened. He felt that he was about to fall from the celestial lord throne and return to being a supreme being. Fear overcame all other emotions. He begged Lin Moyu, Supreme Being Lin, please spare me. I'll do whatever you say in the future. I'll be your most loyal subordinate. I apologize for my past mistakes. I was wrong, I was truly wrong. Please spare me. Lin Moyu sighed lightly, what use do I have for a celestial lord without backbone like you? And do you know what your biggest mistake was? Your biggest mistake was laying hands on the human emperor. Just for this alone, you, including all the supreme beings from the 32 families, deserve to die. Chapter 2475, 2475. Chapter 2475, You're a celestial lord, you'll get special treatment. Lin Moyu's voice was cold, filled with killing intent. Shi Dingtian suddenly remembered something often overlooked in the legends about Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu was not only powerful in battle, but also ruthless in his methods. Back then, he had killed hundreds of other races and countless living beings, leaving no survivors. The number of lives Lin Moyu had taken alone exceeded the combined total of all others. Unfortunately, in the legends, most people forgot this point and only remembered Lin Moyu's combat prowess. This was an incredibly cold and merciless person, yet he was also full of affection for the human race. Shi Dingtian cried out, I'm also human. I'm the first celestial lord of this era. Lin Moyu shook his head, the great world doesn't need celestial lords like you, and neither do I. I don't like leaving loose ends, I prefer to eliminate the root of the problem. But don't worry, I won't let you die easily. I'll let you watch how your clan is destroyed. The forces you've built up over the years, including your hidden forces, will all crumble before your eyes, bit by bit. Lin Moyu's voice grew colder, accompanied by a rumbling sound. Shi Dingtian felt as if all the bones had been sucked out of his body. His aura officially dropped from the celestial lord realm to the supreme being realm. But this wasn't the end. As his origin power decreased, his strength would continue to fall, eventually unable to maintain even the supreme being realm. Everything he had gained from walking Lin Moyu's divine path now had to be returned. Shi Dingtian was trapped by an invisible force, unable to make any reaction or move. He could hear constant screams as the supreme beings led by him died in their mutual slaughter. All the supreme beings were trapped in illusions, completely disregarding defense and only focused on attacking. This great battle would end soon. Shi Dingtian was completely desperate. He never imagined Lin Moyu could be this terrifying. Now he finally understood that Lin Moyu wouldn't show mercy just because he was human. However, he was still making a final effort. He still didn't want to die. A weak voice kept sounding, please, give me one more chance. Lin Moyu shook his head, you're too noisy. A force surged into Shi Dingtian's body, immediately robbing him of the ability to speak. Now he was like a puppet, able only to watch, unable to move or speak. His aura continued to fall, from peak Supreme Being to high-level Supreme Being, then to mid-level Supreme Being, low-level Supreme Being. Finally, as all the origin power left him, Shi Dingtian fell back to the Holy Lord realm. He was completely desperate. The realm he had worked so hard to cultivate was lost in an instant. Although he was still alive, how was this any different from being dead? He knew the only reason he was still alive was because Lin Moyu wanted him to live. Lin Moyu not only killed people but also crushed their spirits. This was a terrifying demon. He had seen countless people in his life, but none more terrifying than Lin Moyu. He had no idea that he had touched Lin Moyu's reverse scale. Those who had once fought alongside Lin Moyu for the Great World were all Lin Moyu's reverse scales. Lin Moyu was doing this to tell everyone that from now on, they must follow the rules. The mutual slaughter among the Supreme Beings finally ended. The last survivor ended their own life through suicide. But Lin Moyu's revenge was just beginning. Flames evolved into a sea of fire, engulfing the starry sky. The Supreme Beings who had just died were resurrected in the sea of fire. In Lin Moyu's hands, even death wasn't easy. Even if you died, he could bring you back to life. One by one, the Supreme Beings knelt before Lin Moyu, respectful and devout. Lin Moyu said in a low voice, "Go, eliminate all the Supreme Beings in your clans, leave no one alive." "Yes, sir." All the Supreme Beings accepted the order and went to kill their own clans. Accompanying them were countless skeleton generals. Each skeleton general was a peak Supreme Being. With them present, this operation would not fail. Shi Dingtian watched this scene, and what was happening before his eyes once again surpassed his imagination. The dead could actually be resurrected. Were these puppets, or something else? It turned out the mutual slaughter hadn't ended, but had just begun. Lin Moyu smiled, "Let's go, let's see how your clan is destroyed. Oh, and that hidden force you've built up will also be destroyed." At this moment, Supreme Lord Hao flew over and came to Lin Moyu's side. "Doing this, won't it affect too many people?" Lin Moyu was unconcerned. "No, this world needs rules. Otherwise, if they can do this today, others might do the same in the future." The human ancestors of the past were too kind-hearted, digging a big pit for future generations, almost causing the great world to be destroyed. I absolutely won't allow such a situation to happen again. When it's time to kill, I won't hesitate. For those 32 clans, I'll only kill the Supreme Beings, and I guarantee that no one related to their clan bloodlines will ever become a Supreme Being again. As for Shi Dingtian's clan, let's just wipe them out, eliminate the root of the problem. Supreme Lord Hao understood Lin Moyu's personality. Once he made a decision, he rarely changed it. He didn't try to persuade further, because only a few people could understand the anger in Lin Moyu's heart due to the human emperor being injured. In fact, Supreme Lord Hao was also very angry, but he didn't have this ability. Lin Moyu had long known the location of Shi Dingtian's clan through the Great World's origin, and he was also clear about the forces Shi Dingtian had secretly cultivated. Lin Moyu had seen all of Shi Dingtian's experiences and knew he was an ungrateful wolf that couldn't be tamed. Vicious, selfish, and heartless. For such a person to become a celestial lord was harmful, not beneficial, to the Great World. Lin Moyu never expected that after the Great World recovered, the first celestial lord it cultivated would be such a character. A space-time gate opened, and Lin Moyu took Shi Dingtian across tens of light years to the White Tiger Star region. Shi Dingtian's clan was in the White Tiger Star region. In the past, the White Tiger Star region was controlled by the Bai family, but later when new forces rose, the Bai family had to hand over the management rights of the White Tiger Star region. The new forces ignored the constraints of the Human Emperor network and treated the White Tiger Star region as their own backyard, taking whatever they wanted from the various clans in the Star region. The Human Emperor network intervened several times, but to no avail. When Lin Moyu arrived at the White Tiger Star region again, he could deeply feel a sense of resentment. This resentment came from the various clans in the White Tiger Star region, from countless cultivators. Such a good star region, you've turned it into such a mess. At Lin Moyu's command, the skeleton generals directly attacked Shi Dingtian's clan. Facing the attack of the skeleton generals, Shi Dingtian knew his clan had no chance of survival. Lin Moyu brought him along, letting him witness firsthand how his clan was destroyed. At the same time, the forces he had secretly built up would also be destroyed. These forces were what he used to counter his clan. He was born into the clan but also guarded against it. If another celestial lord were to be born in the clan, his authority would be weakened. So he also needed his own forces. Unfortunately, before he could use them, he was already dead. In front of Lin Moyu, such forces were like clay chickens and pottery dogs. The sound of killing shook the heavens, screams were constant, and the entire Shi clan was collapsing. Shi Dingtian's whole body trembled uncontrollably, his eyes full of fear. Lin Moyu smiled like a demon. Very good, I really like the look in your eyes. Don't worry, you'll be the last one alive in the Shi clan. After all, you're a celestial lord, you'll get this special treatment. Shi Dingtian cursed Lin Moyu as a demon in his heart, but he couldn't make any sound. At the same time, in other star regions, the remaining 31 clans were also suffering the slaughter of the skeletons. The supreme beings in the clans were killed, and all who resisted were destroyed under the swords of the skeleton generals. Chapter 2476, 2476. Chapter 2476. Everything is ready, only the Celestial Lord is missing. The Shi family was annihilated, their forces in the White Tiger star region uprooted, leaving none alive. Many members of the Shi family didn't even know what had happened, dying inexplicably. To this, Lin Moyu had only one suggestion: in your next life, be born into a better family. There were too many innocent people in this world, and he couldn't manage them all. When the 100 races invaded the human race, how innocent were those ordinary people who died? When the Celestial Lords harvested the 7th level world, how innocent were the living beings inside? Lin Moyu couldn't manage these things, he could only follow his own Tao heart. Everything had to make his Tao heart comfortable. Shi Dingtian's eyes turned from fear to lifelessness. With a heart like dead ashes, his soul was annihilated in despair, his soul scattered. Lin Moyu didn't kill him but destroyed his heart, letting him experience true despair. Dying in despair, this kind of death was more terrifying than any physical torture. It was not just destroying the heart but also the soul. The other 31 families' supreme beings had also been cleaned up. This also meant that the new forces that had just been making waves were completely eradicated by Lin Moyu with absolute dominance. No matter where you go, having a strong fist is the hard truth. Without strength, you will be bullied. Lin Moyu felt a familiar aura descending, killing intent dissipating, revealing a bright smile. Human Emperor. The Human Emperor's projection appeared before him. Greetings, Supreme Lin. Thank you for your rescue. The projection was still somewhat weak. The Human Emperor's power had not fully recovered. Lin Moyu waved his hand. Don't be so formal. It's good that you're fine. The Human Emperor smiled. I felt that the Shi family is gone. The Human Emperor had not fully recovered yet, and the Human Emperor network could not completely cover all the major star regions. However, even when the Human Emperor was in hibernation, the Human Emperor network was still recording everything that happened. Once the Human Emperor fully recovered, he would know all the details. Lin Moyu said, not only is the Shi family gone, but the supreme beings of the other 31 families have also been killed. From now on, anyone with their bloodline will never become a supreme being. This matter must be made known to everyone. You should know how to handle it. The Human Emperor immediately understood the meaning behind Lin Moyu's words. Leave this matter to me. I hope that with this lesson, similar things won't happen again in the future. The human race has already endured much suffering. It's better to live peacefully without more turmoil. Lin Moyu laughed. Actually, experiencing some turmoil isn't necessarily bad. Compared to the origin continent, the human race here in the Great World is much more peaceful. Compared to them, the Great World is a pure land. The Human Emperor showed a hint of longing. The origin continent, I really want to see it. Lin Moyu said, there will be a chance, I promise. A light shone in the Human Emperor's eyes. Then I look forward to it. He knew Lin Moyu wouldn't make empty promises. Since he said so, he must have a way. It's just not the time yet, it still needs time. He could afford to wait. Now, the thing he lacked the least was time. As long as this technological artifact wasn't damaged, he wouldn't die. His life was no longer like that of ordinary humans but had become similar to that of Red Star Supreme, long and enduring. While they were talking, the Human Emperor's aura grew a bit stronger. With the origin provided by Lin Moyu, the Human Emperor's recovery speed was fast, and it wouldn't take long for him to fully recover. However, the origin could only help him recover, not allow him to advance further. Lin Moyu bid farewell to the Human Emperor and returned to the Great World's origin. He needed to handle some matters on the divine path, sealing off the bloodlines of the 31 families so that no supreme beings would emerge from them again. Moreover, those who married outside the 31 families, their descendants, no matter how many generations, as long as they carried the bloodline of the 31 families, would never become supreme beings. This was their punishment. In Lin Moyu's view, not exterminating their entire clans was already merciful. The human emperor would make this matter public, and then everyone in the great world would know. No family would ever marry into the 31 families again. In this world, with abundant resources, who wouldn't want to become a supreme being? No one would joke about their future. Lin Moyu set the restrictions on the divine path and returned to the great world's origin. When I become a celestial lord, I'll help you advance to the 7th level. I won't harvest you. We will be comrades, friends, and life and death partners in the future. The instinctive will of the great world's origin seemed to understand Lin Moyu's words, trembling slightly, sending waves of intimacy. After a conversation with the king of the Sea of Realms, Lin Moyu learned how to become the master of the Sea of Realms world. There were many ways to become the master of the Sea of Realms world. In fact, Lin Moyu could become the master of the great world now, but it would require some unconventional means. This was not what Lin Moyu wanted. His choice was to coexist with the great world, with the premise that he becomes a celestial lord. Secondly, he needed to have a perfect level rule world. Fortunately, Lin Moyu's rule world was very strong, surpassing the perfect level. From the king of the Sea of Realms, Lin Moyu learned some knowledge about the rule world. In the origin continent, the perfect level rule world was not the pinnacle, there was indeed another level, the legendary level. However, those who could construct a legendary level rule world were very few. The king of the Sea of Realms referred to the few throughout history, not just the present. Those who reached the legendary level rule world all became figures who shook the ancient and modern worlds. This made Lin Moyu realize that he had done something remarkable. Now he just needed to get closer to the great world's origin, and once he became a celestial lord, he could become the new master of the great world. He communicated with the great world's origin with an open heart and full sincerity, and Lin Moyu could clearly feel that he was getting closer to the great world's origin. This method was also suggested by the king of the Sea of Realms. The king of the Sea of Realms only mentioned the general method, but Lin Moyu understood it immediately. Talking with such a powerful and ancient being as the king of the Sea of Realms benefited Lin Moyu greatly. A few casual pointers from him could make Lin Moyu suddenly see the light. There were many paths in cultivation, and choosing the one that suited oneself best and could go the furthest was crucial. Lin Moyu understood how to walk his future path. After communicating with the great world's origin for a while, Lin Moyu left. He now had 3 world gems, which could elevate the great world to the 7th level in a short time. However, now was not the time. When he reached the Celestial Lord realm, it would be time for the great world to advance. While he was communicating with the great world's origin, the human emperor had almost fully recovered. The power of the human emperor network once again enveloped the entire human star region, and that familiar feeling returned. Smart people had already realized that something significant had happened in the human world. Soon after, the human emperor network released a major announcement, shaking the entire human world. The legendary figure had returned, and with absolute dominance, eradicated the 32 families led by Shi Dingtian. Especially the Shi family, where Shi Dingtian belonged, was completely uprooted, leaving none alive. This news spread faster than the speed of light, reaching the entire human race in a very short time. Everyone cheered, especially those families oppressed by the 32 families but dared not speak out, almost adding insult to injury. If the human emperor hadn't re-established order, they might have united to destroy the remaining 31 families. Now, without supreme beings, the 31 families were like toothless tigers, not to be feared. However, they ultimately heeded the human emperor's words and did not act. The human emperor also deliberately released footage of Lin Moyu's powerful defeat of Shi Dingtian, showcasing Lin Moyu's mysterious and terrifying methods. The human emperor also deliberately concealed Lin Moyu's appearance, adding to his mystique. Chapter 2477, 2477. Chapter 2477. Quite a few celestial lords must have died. The human emperor network announced Lin Moyu's punishment decision for the 31 clans, cutting off their path to becoming supreme beings. Anyone with any blood relation to the 31 clans, even just a tiny bit, would never be able to become a supreme being. Regarding Lin Moyu's decision, surprisingly everyone supported it, with almost no opposition. Over the years, the 32 clans led by the Shi family had caused enough suffering for the people of the Four Directions Star region. Even parts of the Divine City Star region were affected. Now this tumor had finally been completely removed. The human race would return to the peaceful order of the past, under the control of the human emperor, with rewards and punishments, everything becoming fair and reasonable. As long as one's talent was outstanding enough, they could rise up, without being suppressed by any forces. The human emperor had no private interests, and most people had been clear about this for countless years. Lin Moyu's deeds once again spread throughout the entire human race. Countless belief powers poured in, with billions upon billions of people in the entire human race revering Lin Moyu as a deity. This legendary figure once again became a legend, becoming an idol and role model in the hearts of countless cultivators, and also becoming the goal that countless geniuses pursued. Lin Moyu accepted the belief power and began to refine it. The method of using belief power came from the celestial god sect of the origin continent. What the human race in the great world had mastered was only a tiny, insignificant part of belief power. The wonders of belief power were far more than this, but unfortunately the celestial god sect had been destroyed. To obtain the complete method of belief power would depend on chance. Lin Moyu chatted with Supreme Lord Hao and the others for a while, learning from them about some of the things that had happened in the great world in recent years. Apart from Shiding Tian, everything else was fine, with no major issues. Lin Moyu didn't stay long in the great world. After taking another batch of aged fine wine, he left the great world. For him, the most important thing now was to become a celestial lord. According to his plan, before becoming a celestial lord, he wanted to upgrade all his spells to the origin level, and he wanted to use 7th level origin to upgrade them. Using 7th level origin was the optimal solution Lin Moyu arrived at after repeated calculations. The 8th level was too difficult, with a high failure rate for fusion, time-consuming and labor-intensive, not worth it. The 6th level was too weak, especially since he still wanted to fuse with the Great World, so using 7th level origin was most suitable. Leaving the Great World, he returned to the Sea of Realms. The time he spent in the Great World was just a brief moment for the Sea of Realms. Water-stop Celestial Lord was still there, his body emanating the smell of alcohol. Seeing Lin Moyu return, Water-stop Celestial Lord squinted his eyes. "Kid, the stock is almost gone." Lin Moyu laughed heartily and threw over 10 jars of aged fine wine, totaling 100,000 caddies. 100,000 caddies should be enough for this drunkard to drink for a while. Then Lin Moyu released Jade Bamboo and Fish Light Soft. During this time, they had been cultivating in his rule world, getting closer and closer to the Nirvana realm. It was estimated that in not too many days, they would be able to step into Nirvana. Water-stop Celestial Lord laughed, "Bringing family members to cultivate in the Sea of Realms, you're the first one." Lin Moyu smiled, "Everyone's situation is different. I think there's nothing wrong with bringing some family members." Water-stop Celestial Lord laughed heartily, "Indeed, there's nothing wrong. Men and women paired up, cultivation is not tiring." Jade Bamboo and Fish Light Soft's faces turned slightly red. They knew this old turtle Water-stop had thick skin and often joked after drinking, so they didn't take it seriously. Suddenly, a strange sound came from afar, followed by thunder and lightning. A huge whale rushed out from the dark clouds, flying towards Lin Moyu. Water-stop Celestial Lord's body trembled. Why has General Whale come? Lin Moyu also found it strange. What was General Whale coming for? His agreement with the Sea of Realms King would only take effect after he became a Tao Lord, so there was nothing he could do now. General Whale arrived in front of Lin Moyu and stopped. Water-stop Celestial Lord respectfully said, "Greetings, General Whale." Lin Moyu also bowed to General Whale. "General Whale, has the king given any instructions?" General Whale opened his mouth, and a box flew out from his mouth, landing in Lin Moyu's hands. At the same time, his deep voice sounded, "This is the down payment the king gave you. When you reach Tao Lord, don't forget your promise." Lin Moyu thought to himself, "It seems the Sea of Realms King doesn't trust me." On the surface, he remained calm and said to General Whale, "I've received this down payment. Please tell the king when you return, Lin will never go back on his word for things he has promised." General Whale slowly nodded, "That's good." After speaking, he slowly turned his huge body and dove back into the dark clouds, leaving amidst thunder and lightning. Water-stop Celestial Lord had a strange expression. "What did you promise the king?" Lin Moyu shook his head, "Can't say, I've made a soul oath." Water-stop Celestial Lord was immediately at a loss for words. Since a soul oath had been made, he couldn't ask further. He shifted his target. Take a look, what's in the box? The king's generosity shouldn't be small. Lin Moyu opened the box, and a strong origin aura rushed out from inside. 9 origin pearls were arranged side by side, shining brightly. These were not ordinary origin obtained from Sea of Realms fish, nor were they premium origin like the origin fire, but true world-class origin. A full 9 5th-level world-class origin pearls. World-class origin was extremely rare. A world like the Tiger Demon Realm could only refine 1 5th-level world-class origin pearl. The 9 origin pearls before him represented 9 worlds similar to the Tiger Demon Realm. Lin Moyu took a sharp breath. This is just the down payment, what a grand gesture. At the same time, he also realized that what the Sea of Realms king wanted him to do must be extraordinary, not simple. With such a high down payment, how could it be simple? Moreover, by accepting this down payment, if he dared to go back on his word later, not only would the soul oath not let him off, but the Sea of Realms king would probably personally come to destroy him. Lin Moyu immediately thought of a use for these 9 world-class origin pearls. He could fuse them into 7th-level world-class origin. Even without the Great World, he could use it to become a Tao Lord. But fusing 7th-level origin had a certain failure rate. The stronger the origin, the higher the failure rate. If it failed, the loss would be great. Even if not fused, 5th-level world-class origin could also be used to advance to Celestial Lord. After all, this was world-class origin, very rare. At the Celestial Lord level, ordinary 5th-level origin was enough for them to fight over, let alone world-class 5th-level origin, which was enough for Celestial Lords to fight to the death for. Even if he didn't use it himself, world-class 5th-level origin could be exchanged for many good things. Lin Moyu also thought that if he didn't use it, when Jade Bamboo and others advanced to Celestial Lord, they could use it. After all, in his plan, Jade Bamboo and Fish Light Soft would leave the Great World starting from when they entered the Nirvana realm. Not just them, but later Ning Yi and others would be the same. When they advanced to Supreme Being, they wouldn't be able to rely on the Great World, so they would need external world-class origin support. Now it was perfect. The Sea of Realms king had sent world-class origin, and it was 5th level, enough for him to use. Water-Stop Celestial Lord stared with wide eyes, muttering, "Goodness, what kind of deal do you have with the king? This down payment is too generous. Let me guess, quite a few Celestial Lords must have died in this Sea of Realms decree. Those poor fellows. Although the Sea of Realms decree is relatively safe, it's not absolutely safe. Going there without enough strength is just seeking death." Chapter 2478, 2478. Chapter 2478. The starry sky is a blanket, the great world is a bed. Lin Moyu looked at Water-Stop Celestial Lord, his eyes slightly narrowed. "You didn't say that back then. I remember you said the Sea of Realms decree was very safe." Water-Stop Celestial Lord, with his thick skin, replied, "I said it was safe for you, given your strength." Lin Moyu snorted, "Safe, my foot. I almost didn't make it back this time. Even though I returned." Lin Moyu didn't continue, as saying more would touch upon the soul oath, which he couldn't speak about. Water-Stop Celestial Lord showed no guilt, looking at the 9 world-class 5th-level origins. "It seems it wasn't very safe this time. Just these 9 world-class origins mean 9 Celestial Lords have fallen." Lin Moyu asked, "Do you mean these 9 world-class origins all come from the Sea of Realms worlds of the deceased Celestial Lords?" Water-Stop Celestial Lord nodded matter-of-factly, "Of course. They died, and the Sea of Realms decree locked onto their worlds. The king naturally could refine their worlds into world-class origins. I estimate this is just a part of it. There should be more who died." Lin Moyu thought about it. When he went, there were tens of thousands of people, but far fewer returned. At least hundreds of Celestial Lords must have died. In this sense, these 9 origin crystals don't seem that precious. For the king of the Sea of Realms, it's just a small effort. Water-Stop Celestial Lord asked, "What do you plan to do with them?" Lin Moyu replied, "I'll keep them for now, no rush to use them." He already had an idea in mind. These origin crystals should be reserved for Jade Bamboo, Fish Light Soft, and Ning Yi. As for himself, he didn't need them. Using them to fuse spells wasn't appropriate either. World-class origins are indeed powerful, but using them to fuse spells is less effective than using 7th-level ordinary origins. After all, their greatest use isn't here. Lin Moyu looked at Water-Stop Celestial Lord, "Do you want one?" Water-Stop Celestial Lord, rarely embarrassed but still thick-skinned, said bluntly, "Indeed, I want one. I have a useless grandson. Without much thought, Lin Moyu directly threw one to him. World-class 5th level origins were no longer very useful to Water-stop Celestial Lord unless they were 6th or 7th level world-class origins. He asked thick-skinnedly just for his grandson. Lin Moyu didn't know what realm his grandson was in, but since Water-stop Celestial Lord asked, Lin Moyu had no reason to refuse. Water-stop Celestial Lord excitedly caught it, thanks. From now on, you're old turtle's best brother. This guy proactively stuck to him, his thick skin making Jade Bamboo and Fish Light Soft laugh non-stop. Lin Moyu snorted and prepared to put away the origin crystals, but Water-stop Celestial Lord called out, don't put them away. Aren't the two sisters about to advance to Nirvana? Let them absorb the origin crystals now to solidify their foundation. Fusing with world-class 5th level origins can ensure they won't encounter bottlenecks before becoming Celestial Lords. In the future, when they become Saint Lords, they can continue to use the power of world-class 5th level origins to at least construct a perfect level rule world. This way, the path to Celestial Lord will be clear. Lin Moyu didn't expect that world-class origin crystals could be used this way. Trusting Water-stop Celestial Lord's words, Lin Moyu took out 2 5th level origins and handed them to Jade Bamboo and Fish Light Soft. Water-stop Celestial Lord then taught them how to absorb and utilize the world-class 5th level origins to gain the most benefits. Under Water-stop Celestial Lord's guidance, the two began to cultivate, guiding the origin energy into their bodies and merging it with their souls. Water-stop Celestial Lord said, go handle your own matters. Old Turtle will watch over them here, nothing will happen. Lin Moyu nodded and once again leapt into the Sea of Realms, starting his fishing business. A month later, Jade Bamboo and Fish Light Soft simultaneously emitted the aura of advancement, both almost simultaneously embarking on the path to Nirvana. Water-stop Celestial Lord's method had a huge effect. With the protection of origin power, their path to Nirvana was very smooth. It took only 2 days, with almost no obstacles, for them to successfully reach Nirvana. As they reached Nirvana, Lin Moyu removed them from the Great World. They were born in the Great World, leaving their marks in the Great World's origin. Lin Moyu used his authority to erase their marks. This also meant that Jade Bamboo and Fish Light Soft would no longer have any connection with the Great World. They had never received the Great World's origin, so leaving or not didn't matter to the Great World. Unlike those Supreme Celestial Lords, who, when leaving the Great World, would take a part of the Great World's origin power and also suffer backlash from the Great World, causing harm to both sides. Reaching Nirvana and leaving the Great World, Jade Bamboo and Fish Light Soft looked at the Sea of Realms with a hint of novelty in their eyes. Lin Moyu asked, does it feel different? Fish Light Soft replied, it does feel different. When I sensed the rules of the origin continent before, it always felt like something was missing, as if there was a thin veil, making it unclear. But now, I can clearly sense the rules of the origin continent and the fluctuations of space. I feel that in a while, I can use space power in the origin continent. Jade Bamboo added, I have a similar feeling. I didn't know what the rules I comprehended were called before, but now I finally know. The rules I comprehended are called the star rules, but I haven't found my corresponding star yet. The star rules and the stellar rules differ by one word, but their essence is vastly different, completely different things. Lin Moyu didn't quite understand what the star rules were. Water-stop Celestial Lord explained, it's normal for you to feel this way. Before, you were beings of the Sea of Realms world. Although you could also operate on the origin continent, there was still a Sea of Realms world in between. Now that you've left the Sea of Realms world, you can be said to have fully integrated into the origin continent, so naturally, things will be clearer. Sister Fish's space rules are very good, but the space on the origin continent is too stable. To truly exert the power of space rules, you need to be at least a high-level Celestial Lord. As for the star rules, they are special. You need to find your corresponding star during cultivation and gain its recognition to exert their power. There are 28 stars on the origin continent. Take your time to find them, no rush. Jade Bamboo asked, are the star rules powerful? Water-stop Celestial Lord replied, it's hard to say. The 28 stars are different, and it also depends on each person's comprehension. On the origin continent, each rule corresponds to a great way, and ultimately, you need to use the power of the great way. And each great way, it's hard to say which is stronger. It's not that if the rules you comprehend are powerful, you are powerful. Ultimately, it depends on your realm. No matter how powerful the great way you comprehend, a Tao Lord can easily crush a high-level Celestial Lord. Water-stop Celestial Lord patiently explained, then said, "All right, old turtle won't disturb you anymore. I'll come back in a few days." Water-stop Celestial Lord hadn't left these days. Now that the two had reached Nirvana, he needed to find his grandson. Lin Moyu laughed, "Congratulations, you've finally reached Nirvana." Jade Bamboo and Fish Light Soft exchanged glances, their faces slightly red. "Husband, we want to try." "Try what?" "Try to see if we can conceive now that our realms are higher." Fish Light Soft also nodded, "We are now only one major realm away from husband. Perhaps we can conceive." Lin Moyu laughed heartily, waved his hand, and the three disappeared into the Sea of Realms. The starry sky is a blanket, the great world is a bed. Chapter 2479, 2479. Chapter 2479, Luck at its limit, great fortune arrives. Water-stop Celestial Lord returned after being away for a few days. According to him, all the Sea of Realms worlds in the area he oversees were fleeing. After seeing the great world consecutively swallow several fifth-level worlds, they knew they were no match and fled quickly. No one wanted to collide with the great world, which directly led to Water-stop Celestial Lord having nothing to do. During the days he was away, Lin Moyu and his two beloved wives continuously strived in the great world, but unfortunately, the results were not as desired and there was no further development. Lin Moyu could only sigh, saying that the time had not yet come. Returning to the Sea of Realms, Lin Moyu once again devoted himself to the great fishing enterprise, while Water-stop Celestial Lord continued to guide the two women in cultivation. The cultivation methods of the origin continent differed slightly from those of the great world. In this area, Water-stop Celestial Lord had the most authority to speak. Having an experienced teacher like him made Lin Moyu pleased. Moreover, with Water-stop Celestial Lord present, the safety of the two was also guaranteed. Days passed one by one, and Lin Moyu continuously harvested origin crystals. The Sea of Realms was boundlessly vast, and the immense power contained in its waters was equally limitless. Limitless power nurtured limitless Sea of Realms creatures. No matter how much Lin Moyu hunted and killed, he could never kill them all. Lin Moyu used a first-level origin as bait, attracting large numbers of strange fish, greatly increasing his hunting efficiency. According to the rules of the Sea of Realms, it was not allowed to use origin items to attract fish schools. However, the King of the Sea of Realms was the highest authority in the Sea of Realms, and he could decide whether something was permissible or not with a single word. Now that Lin Moyu was valued by the King of the Sea of Realms, as long as he didn't go too far, the king wouldn't interfere. As for Water-stop Celestial Lord, he turned a blind eye to it. Thus, Lin Moyu's speed of obtaining origin crystals doubled compared to before. Lin Moyu needed a total of 11 portions of materials to fuse 7th level origin, which was originally planned to take 2,200 Sea of Realms days. The Sea of Realms decree journey also allowed Lin Moyu to obtain several slightly higher level origin crystals. Adding to the greatly increased efficiency now, it only took 1,000 Sea of Realms days to complete the collection. 1,000 Sea of Realms days translated to over 27,000 years for the great world. Over these many years, earth-shattering changes were also occurring in the great world. Supreme beings were becoming more numerous, with people continuously breaking through to peak Supreme Being. Finally, 10,000 years ago, a new Celestial Lord appeared in the great world. No one expected that the second Celestial Lord would be Little Mist. Lin Moyu wasn't surprised at all by this. Little Mist had the blessings of 2 Celestial Lords, and her cultivation path had been smooth sailing. If she hadn't been too playful and lazy to cultivate, she would have become a Celestial Lord much earlier. With Little Mist's breakthrough to the Celestial Lord realm, it was as if the path to Celestial Lord had been opened. In the recent 10,000 years, 3 more Celestial Lords appeared. 2 of these Celestial Lords came from Supreme Lord Hao and Supreme Lord Tian's families, while the other came from the War God Temple. Including Little Mist, in just 10,000 short years, 4 Celestial Lords had successively appeared in the Great World. This was enough to prove that the Great World had recovered to its ancient state. At this time, the Great World could accommodate 10 Celestial Lords. The newly promoted Celestial Lords didn't follow in Shidingtian's footsteps. They could be considered proper and respectful of their elders. Although they were now Celestial Lords, they were very respectful towards the older generation like Supreme Lord Hao. They had no objections to the human emperor managing the entire human race, and they themselves were willing to accept the human emperor's management. Although they were Celestial Lords, the privileges and resources they received were not that much. Under the human emperor's arrangement, the celestial lords would occasionally give lectures, cultivating more powerful beings for the human race of the great world. They also didn't harbor any covetous thoughts towards the great world's origin. Now in the great world, everyone knew that behind the great world, there was still a great god. A terrifying figure who appeared to be only a peak supreme being, yet could easily slaughter celestial lords. Lin Moyu had met the three of them once when he returned, frankly stating that he would eventually become the master of the great world. After he became the world's master, he could let them choose whether to continue staying in the great world or leave. However, it wasn't possible now. If they left now, it would cause harm to the great world. Although the harm might not be great, Lin Moyu wouldn't allow it. To this, the three didn't object, nor did they make a choice. Celestial lords had their own thoughts, and Lin Moyu wouldn't restrict their thinking. If they wanted to leave the great world in the future, Lin Moyu would fulfill their wishes. After a friendly exchange with the great world's origin, their mutual feelings increased a bit more, and then Lin Moyu left to find Little Mist. Whether as a supreme being or a celestial lord, Little Mist was as always, directly hanging on to Lin Moyu. Master. Little Mist made a squeaky sound, still nuzzling Lin Moyu's cheek like a cat, not at all behaving like a celestial lord should. Not far away, Little Ox, who had reached the supreme being realm, turned away helplessly, not wanting to look. As Little Mist's mount, having such a silly master was really embarrassing for a cow. Lin Moyu patted Little Mist's head, all right, I have important business with you this time. Little Mist continued nuzzling, no matter what it is, let Little Mist nuzzle comfortably first. Master hasn't been back for so long. Has it been that long? Lin Moyu remembered he had just come back a dozen days ago. But thinking about it, it made sense. A dozen days in the Sea of Realms world was several hundred years in the Great World. Lin Moyu knew there was an unbreakable bond between himself and Little Mist. Little Mist was personally reincarnated by him from an artifact spirit to a human, creating a precedent. Her soul was fused with his aura. In the deepest part of Little Mist's soul, in her deepest subconscious, he was her closest person, surpassing even her old master. Since that was the case, he might as well let her nuzzle a bit longer. As Lin Moyu felt Little Mist's soft hair, he suddenly thought of the soul primal beast that called him father. He wondered where it had gone, whether the soul primal beast was a member of the demon race, and whether it lived somewhere on the origin continent. Originally, he had wanted to use the soul primal beast as his beacon to enter the Sea of Realms, but later found that the Sea of Realms was too vast for this beacon to be effective. He didn't know if he would see it again after he set foot on the origin continent. Perhaps when it grew up, it would realize that he wasn't really its father. Brushing aside these random thoughts, after Little Mist had nuzzled enough, Lin Moyu said, Little Mist, help me with something. Little Mist's eyes narrowed into crescents, sure, whatever you say, master. Lin Moyu said, use your luck rules to boost my luck to the extreme. Little Mist nodded vigorously without thinking, no problem. Little Mist let out a heavy grunt, and a hazy, illusory rule world rose like a full moon behind her. Luck rules filled Little Mist's rule world. Among the celestial lords, Little Mist's power was the most mysterious. Luck rules were an illusory power, unfathomable, yet Little Mist could control it and affect the real world. Little Mist lightly pointed her finger at Lin Moyu and cried out, Master, you're about to have great fortune. In an instant, Lin Moyu felt an invisible force fall upon him, and the sound of a dragon's roar rang in his ears as a golden dragon rose from his body. Immediately after, Lin Moyu felt that the luck of the entire great world was stirred, and all the luck of this world came towards him. The golden dragon let out a clear roar, and Little Mist's luck technique directly pushed his luck to the extreme. But this wasn't enough. Lin Moyu actively used the luck burst technique, making his luck advance even further. Luck was an upgrade of fortune, but that didn't mean fortune was useless. The luck burst technique, combined with Little Mist's luck rules, pushed Lin Moyu even further. Lin Moyu felt as if he had broken through another level. The golden giant dragon burst forth with dazzling red light, changing from a golden dragon to a great red divine dragon, truly at the peak of fortune. At this moment, Lin Moyu vaguely touched upon the rules of cause and effect. Cause and effect, a step beyond luck. Where there's a cause, there's an effect. He felt that with just a thought, he could determine the effect without needing the cause. Chapter 2480, 2480. Chapter 2480, The Law of Cause and Effect, Fusion of Origin. For the first time, Lin Moyu truly came into contact with the law of cause and effect. If one were to rank the levels of intangible powers, the law of cause and effect would undoubtedly be at the top. Whether in the Great World or the origin continent, cause and effect have existed since the moment the world was born. The law of cause and effect is mysterious and unfathomable. Throughout history, almost no one has truly understood it. Its existence is even more elusive and difficult to grasp than the laws of time and space. At least with the law of time, one can find traces in the river of time, but the law of cause and effect is almost impossible to trace. Very few people in the river of time have come into contact with the law of cause and effect. Some have touched it, gained a superficial understanding, and even created treasures based on the law of cause and effect. In the great world, someone once achieved this, which is why treasures like the cause and effect gourd exist. However, they only touched the surface. Otherwise, the great world would not have nearly been destroyed. Lin Moyu didn't know this before. He tried to comprehend the law of cause and effect through the cause and effect gourd, only to find it impossible. The law of cause and effect within the gourd was too thin, almost negligible. Yet, even this tiny bit of the law of cause and effect made the cause and effect gourd a formidable treasure. This alone proves the immense power of the law of cause and effect. Now, Lin Moyu truly felt the law of cause and effect. Although it was just a superficial understanding, it far surpassed the cause and effect gourd. Lin Moyu even had the illusion that he could determine the effect without considering the cause. For example, he could determine that he would become the master of the great world without needing to know the reason, the process, or why. Once the existence of the effect was determined, he would inevitably become the master of the great world. This ability is truly terrifying. Deep in his soul, Lin Moyu felt a profound respect for the law of cause and effect. He imagined that if a Tao Lord mastered the law of cause and effect, facing an enemy, they would only need to determine the effect of the enemy's death. Then, without doing anything, the enemy would die when the time came. There would be no reason, no cause, only the effect. Of course, this ability requires a deep mastery of the law of cause and effect and the use of the power of the Great Way. It's uncertain whether such a Tao Lord exists on the origin continent. A more realistic application, Lin Moyu thought, would be determining the effect during an attack. For example, determining that his attack would inevitably hit, making it impossible for the enemy to dodge, no matter what. As long as he launched the attack, it would inevitably hit the enemy. Lin Moyu felt this application of the law of cause and effect was more realistic. He thought of corpse explosion, which seemed to have this characteristic. Once locked on, once the spell was activated, the opponent couldn't evade. Could it be that corpse explosion is also related to the law of cause and effect? Lin Moyu felt he might be overthinking it. The illusion brought by the law of cause and effect quickly faded, and in an instant, Lin Moyu lost that feeling. Indeed, it was an illusion. I only touched the surface of the law of cause and effect. How could I comprehend it so quickly? But having experienced it once, there will be a second time. Perhaps there will be opportunities in the future. Little Mist is truly a treasure. Lin Moyu couldn't help but marvel at Little Mist. He felt like he had found a treasure. Even the illusory Mist Celestial Lord probably didn't know that Little Mist could help him comprehend the law of cause and effect. Lin Moyu had already determined that the illusory Mist Celestial Lord had only touched the surface of the law of cause and effect back then. Otherwise, he wouldn't have left. His body was enveloped in red light, a dazzling red dragon coiling above his head, bringing him great fortune. In the world of rules, the 10-colored dragon soul crystal spewed dragon breath, transforming into a sea of fire to refine the origin. First level, second level, third level, and even fourth level origins were piled up like small mountains. Lin Moyu had prepared 11 portions of materials needed to fuse 7th level origins, including over 100,000 first level origins alone. There were fewer second level origins, but still over 10,000. Refining them was no small task. The flames of the 10-colored dragon soul crystal penetrated every corner, quickly refining the impurities in the origins, making them pure and turning them into crystal clear origin crystals. Perhaps due to his great fortune, the refining speed of the 10-colored dragon soul crystal was not only fast but also more effective than usual. A person's luck affects all aspects of life. This intangible yet real force influences every detail, every moment. Lin Moyu was well aware of this, so from the start of refining the origin crystals, he pushed his luck to the extreme. After refining a large number of origins, Lin Moyu called out to Infinite Fusion, "Stop sleeping, get to work." After devouring 2 spiritual materials, Infinite Fusion had long since recovered. However, this lazy creature had been sleeping ever since it recovered. Eating and sleeping were its true nature. Under Lin Moyu's call, infinite fusion lazily spread its mist, enveloping a large number of already refined origins, allowing them to fuse, while its main body didn't even bother to move. Lin Moyu was helpless, but as long as it could fuse, it was fine. After devouring 2 portions of spiritual materials, infinite fusion's power seemed to have increased, and its fusion speed was faster than before. In the mist, the origin crystals combined in sets of 3. 3 same-level origin crystals quickly fused into a higher-level origin crystal. First level became second level became third level. The fusion speed was fast, almost catching up with the refining speed of the 10-colored dragon soul crystal. The 10-colored dragon soul crystal was unwilling to be outdone, continuously spewing dragon breath to speed up the refining process. The two competed fiercely, neither willing to yield. Finally, all the origins were refined into origin crystals. At the same time, a large number of origin crystals completed their fusion, continuously increasing in level. Lin Moyu repeatedly used the luck burst technique, maintaining his state of great fortune with the red dragon above his head. Finally, all the origin crystals were fused into 6th-level origins. Over 100,000 origin crystals were ultimately fused into 36th-level origin crystals. Ordinary 6th-level origin crystals couldn't compare to premium-level origin crystals, let alone world-class origin crystals. But they were still valuable enough for celestial lords to fight over. If they reached the 7th level, even high-level celestial lords would fight to the death for them. Hopefully, my luck holds. With a thought, Lin Moyu began to fuse the 7th-level origins. This time, infinite fusion couldn't sit still. It personally took action, transforming into an iron pot and swallowing 3 origin crystals. Covering the pot, it sounded like stir-frying. Lin Moyu looked at the iron pot and found it seemed more refined than before. The once rough and irregular iron pot now had some patterns on it. This change confirmed that infinite fusion had indeed become stronger. Lin Moyu's soul eyes sparkled. Since it has become stronger, the success rate of fusion should also increase. With Little Mist's luck technique and my luck burst technique, maintaining great fortune, perhaps all 11 portions of origins can be successfully fused. Let's hope so. Keep it up. This encouragement was not only for himself but also for infinite fusion. Infinite fusion let out a low hum in response. No problem. Not only had it become stronger, but it also had more spirit.